The D and Davis Show.
D and Davis Show. We are back with the football week as the beloved take on the Pack at Soldier Field with two statues out there. One of George Halas, Papa Bear, and also Sweetness, Walter Payton. Shout out to our boy, Jared.
That's right.
Two wonderful bronze statues. I believe what they're 8 feet tall. 12
No, Walter's 12. I know that.
Okay.
I think they're both the same size.
They look the same
Then
size.
probably 12 because I know Jared Payton confirmed it was 12.
And they're right next to each other, right?
Yeah.
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 I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's not a bad one as far as not liking it. 'Cause sometimes it kind of takes away from it.
Well, there's only one like real entrance though into Soldier Field.
So what? Spread
In
them
the
out.
north.
Spread them out. Spread them out.
I do too, because you think they're going to add some more down the line.
Yeah.
So it will make sense.
Yeah, they're keeping room.
Like for instance, like
down
the
there.
socks where they have, if you go into the outfield, the bleachers, and they have that area where it's like a few bronze statues, I believe, it kind of takes away from it because it's just like, oh, so they just all right here together. It's like throw the asses.
Maybe
over.
that's going to be the old wing, and then they'll have the future superstar wing.
Papa Bear is pointing the finger. I believe it's at Walter. Like, look, that black brother run.
Run, boy! Run, boy!
Almost as good as Gale. I'm joking. He was better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely look forward to that.
How excited are you guys for that WGN special, by the way? Are you going to watch that?
What is it?
The Walter Payton
Yeah, of
special?
course.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat it up. I mean, I feel like I know majority of everything about Walter Payton, but definitely, I mean, I'm always here for more. I love the fact that when NFL, what was it? Was it ESPN? Yeah, ESPN put out their all-time team or whatever, and Walter was still up there as far as running back. Like stuff like that, as we always talk about how when times change and we live in a microwave society, how it's easy to tear down what you didn't see with your eyes, and none of us saw primetime Walter. Like I saw late Walter, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see Walter, I didn't even see Walter in the early like 81. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't see that Walter Payton full time, but you can tell from even looking at what I got as a little kid how great of a phenomenal player, athlete, and definitely an ambassador to football. So that's definitely good. But we got the Pack with Matt LaFleur, coach, and Aaron Rodgers coming here, first year coach to our second year coach and Matt Nagy. So that's definitely gonna be something we jump in and help us discuss that. We're gonna have Shawn Sierra from the Shawn and Maya show. He's going to join us. I am Kenneth Davis. You heard Ryan, and the next voice you hear is
D. Demonsporo. What's going on, everybody? Hey, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. There you go. Instagram and Twitter at D and Davis Show. Once again, it's at D and Davis Show. Facebook.com/D and Davis Show. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Music, Stitcher, the TuneIn app. We're on Anchor, which kicks you over to Spotify and YouTube. All right. So, hey, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Demons1, DEMONZE1. Ken is on Twitter at That's Davis. And Ryan is on Twitter he's executive producer of the D and Davis Show and D and Davis Flip. And Ryan's on Twitter at Ryan B. Ski.
So, how was Shawn's wedding?
It was cool, man. It was probably one of the most fun weddings I ever been to.
That's dope. It looked like it.
Yeah, man, we had a really good time. We got down there. Shawn Terry, co-founder of WeAreRigaRadio.com. I've known Shawn now since I was 13 years old. So it's been a minute now for us. But no, man, he had his wedding down in Dayton, Ohio. Drove down there, got down there Saturday afternoon. Everybody got together, man. And instantly, we just basically started partying. Went downtown Dayton, got something to eat.
Y'all start sniffing coke?
Huh?
Y'all start sniffing blow?
Oh, no, none of that.
Well, that's what they call partying, right?
That's what you call partying.
That's not what I call partying. That's
You the only one who started talking about coke.
No. Usually, culturally.
Who? What? With black folks? With black folks?
No, that's what I was asking. Because culturally,
There's a lot of black folks
if
down there.
white folks say they partying, it seems to imply
But this is a lot of black people.
there was some cocaine.
It was a lot of black.
You guys like to party?
See, just like that. It was. Did someone say it in that manner?
These are black folks. Okay. The darker of the hue.
Y'all could be. They could be from the suburbs.
No. But no, we got together, man, downtown Dayton, which is really cool. Everything, and this is probably most of America. It shut down like at 9 o'clock, even on the weekend. Yeah. So
our big city nose is turned up. He said, "Ugh." Dude, if I can't go out at 3 a.m. to pick something,
That should always be an option.
Listen,
Period.
facts.
We was right across the street from the Dayton Dragons. They're a single A ball club for the Cincinnati Reds. Really nice stadium, smaller but really nice stadium.
They
but
also
that's-
turn out the lights at 9 p.m. too.
They do.
during the game. Turn them off.
But I think we probably left downtown maybe like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We left the game early. When we got the missus, they was hanging out, having a few bottles of wine. They was having a good time. The guys basically went over there. It was kind of like the wedding party was kind of going back and forth. So there was a restaurant in the stadium. And then, but yeah, I was rolling back with my guy Anton, his wife. And I say about 9:30, 10 o'clock, we walking around because they parked a little bit ways away instead of right around where we were at. And things were just about closed down. Yeah, it was just about closed. Like a few bars here. It's like, oh, it's kind of cool. But it was kind of closing up. We wasn't by the Oregon district where the shooting had happened a month ago, whatever like that. We wasn't by there, so I couldn't tell you how that area was.
We wasn't asking.
I'm just saying, though. I'm talking about
D and Davis, nice times right now.
no. I'm just
Nobody even asked you to throw that in.
No. I'm just
I
talking about
wasn't where the
simple fact.
masker was at. Like, we wasn't asking.
Well, another thing that I did see that was kind of disturbing. They had a tornado they hit earlier this year. So as we were coming in on the expressway, I looked over, I saw this building. I'm like, man, like this kind of fell on some hard times right here. I'm like, what's wrong with this building? And then next I saw the houses. I'm like, wait a minute. And then my guy, Anton Kirby, his wife was like, even the trees look bad. Like, what's happening? And I was like, oh man, this is must where the tornado hit. So you can kind of see, and they're still rebuilding. Slowly but surely, they're kind of building that up. So that was kind of interesting to see. Like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. But into the wedding Saturday, man, where they had it at, it was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful venue. It was supposed to be outside, but it rained a little bit earlier. And but then they had a cartoonist out there. We had illustrations, and I mean, it was maybe like 100 people, so kind of a smaller wedding. And man, they had the ceremony really cool too. If you're out there, maybe you're getting married soon. Instead of they had their vows, whatever like that. But instead of just like, okay, I'm gonna kiss a bride and walk down the aisle, they had like a time capsule, and they was going to wait to open that up until they hit the 25 year anniversary, and it was just putting things in over the years of how long they've been together, even to like when we first started dating to like right now. And that was really, really cool. I had never seen anything like that before. That was really cool to see in person. And after that, man, we just turned up, man, and had a great time. And man, but yeah, shout out to Shawn and India.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they were supposed to go down to Savannah for their honeymoon, but the hurricane and like majority of Georgia was being evacuated, so they haven't been able to get there, but they're going somewhere else.
I don't think majority of Georgia's been evacuated.
No, I'm talking about the south
coastline.
The coastline of it. The coastline, yeah, it's like y'all gotta go.
That's like Florida all the way up through South Carolina.
Yeah, like y'all have to go. So, but yeah, I would think that's probably a good percentage.
How many
of Georgia.
cigars you smoke?
Just 2? No, 3. Just three. I wasn't.
That's
You know
a good
what?
number.
Yeah, I wasn't drunk. I will say this though, I broke something because I didn't have any fish. I had some chicken. I did have some chicken. My body kind of felt it the next day, but I was okay. And I was sweating very bad at the reception. I looked like a runaway slave.
I bet you did have some coke.
I was dancing.
Sweating that your vegan brothers would be upset with you?
But other than that, man, we had a great time. So shout out to Shawn and India. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wedding. Beautiful wedding.
So, yeah. Ezekiel Elliott. Agent Rocky Arsenault said Tuesday that the deal is coming down and Zeke's about to be in camp, it looks like.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's good.
I mean, to me, it would seem like it was going to be a fait accompli when it comes to Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know about Melvin Gordon, but I feel like Melvin Gordon's going to have to make a decision, especially if there's not a trade out there. And it seems like when you look at the fact that Houston made that deal, what team's going to have
Which deal?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the Laramie Tunsil. Thank you.
Right.
And the draft picks that they had to trade for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills, that now they may not have the quote unquote capital to be able to pull it off, even though Melvin Gordon and how good he is, he may not even be a first round pick, he may be a second, since he's looking to get signed with that contract. Because that Jadeveon Clowney to Seattle deal was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, but see, the thing is, I also read into it, and it's one of those things, even when you look at the Bears, and Clowney isn't Mac, but you're asking a team, and I know since Clowney had so many and had so many teams in on it, that the leverage was higher on the Raiders side. But when you factor in that the team that makes that trade has to give up a significant amount of cap space, the Bears made him the highest paid defensive player ever.
Right.
All right. So you would think that would also play into the point of how much money, like seemingly in baseball, and I know this could be apples to oranges, but like in baseball, when a team knows that a player that they're trying to trade you has a large contract, regardless if he's playing close to that contract, probably due to age is a little bit of a lesser player, they usually send money because they know you're taking on something, right? So when you look at the fact that Clowney, they didn't even get a 1 with Clowney. I'm pretty sure they
just got a third.
That's what I thought, a third, and some players,
and they have to pay 7 of the 8
million.
Yeah,
Right,
and you would just think that one, it was a better deal out there, even though Clowney had leverage too in the fact that he didn't have to sign his franchise tag. But still, when you look at those two trades, it makes you wonder. I mean, I want Khalil Mack to be here, and we all know the Packers were looking to get him. So think about that. If the Bears by not trading for him, he would have been in the league in Green Bay.
Yes, he would have.
On the other side of Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, he would.
We'd be throwing up this week instead.
Not again. Right. So
I hope Mitchell make it this game.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially again this Thursday, tomorrow. It's going to be the beginning of a season. It could be a magical season for the Bears.
Let's hope so, man.
It's something that I think Bears fans, young and old, need, because I don't think the Bears have had this much talent on their team since the 80s.
Yeah, I think this is the most talented team this millennium.
Since the 80s.
I was going to say
on the offensive side of the ball,
right? That's the difference.
That's what puts it over.
We could talk defense to defense.
Yeah,
I'm not going to hate on 06's defense.
Yeah.
But on the offensive side of the ball, we did not have this type of talent to go with that defense.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So that's what makes this. I mean, again, we just opened up the show talking about in the 80s, what was the major weapon when they went to the Super Bowl on offense?
Walter.
So you had the greatest running back of all time. At that point, Jim McMahon looked, his potential was on the up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Hurt.
Yeah, that you thought he got hurt, but you didn't think he would stay hurt.
Yeah,
Did he make the Pro Bowl that year?
He probably did.
I don't know.
He made it one year. I don't know if it was 85.
It would probably have to be
because he was the last Pro Bowl quarterback since Mitch went last year.
It would probably be 85. But so it's definitely something to start filling up and feeling good about coming here to Chicago. Something that we really need as far as good Bears. We've always had to good Bears,
right?
You know, like you could love them, but that was the problem with the 06 team.
Pro Bowl 1985.
The problem with the 06 team was Bears fans are so rabid, like most fans are. They'll lie to themselves because that's what most fans do. So, like, when I met a young person, I'd be like, "Yeah, Russell was my favorite quarterback." I was like, "Well, I know when you were born." Basically, I know when you started watching it because that's the only quarterback you've seen that performed decent. But I mean, dude, I've seen a lot. I don't sit there and look. I saw Jim McMahon. You don't hear me be like, but let me tell you about Jim McMahon.
I mean, but listen. Look at all the terrible Bears teams there have been over the past 20 years. Probably longer than that. I'm surprised. I mean, listen, the Bears are the charter franchise for the NFL, yes. We only have one football team here in Chicago, yes. And then when it comes to the Bulls, that's a whole thing in the 90s, and the baseball is split. So, yeah, you're still going to be a Bears fan, but my God, even with us, my generation, it was a lot of bad football. A lot of bad football. But you, like you said, Ken, you had like these little blips here and there of a team like, oh, man, they made the playoffs.
Got some breaking news for you guys.
What you got?
How about Rams extend Jared Goff 4 years?
Knew it was coming.
Largest guarantee in NFL history.
How much is it?
Trending toward the largest.
It's got to be 90, right?
This is what Ian
It's
Rappaport
80 to 90 then.
Let's see.
I don't think they have an exact number.
No number just yet.
But the largest now is 70?
And who got that?
What does Aaron Rodgers have?
Yeah, I forgot how much guaranteed because he had like.
Or does he have 100 guaranteed and
I was going to say 100.
160.
I was going to say 100. I was going to say 100.
Maybe
he may. So he has to be. What's Russell's? I know his yearly is the highest, but I don't know if his.
Yeah, he's not the highest.
Guaranteed is the highest.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the highest all the way.
Rodgers got 100 mil guaranteed.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers, he signed his bonus, will earn $80 million by March. Rodgers had signed a 4-year deal for $134 million. That was his extension. And this was, okay, my internet's going a little bit slow. This was back in 2018. Rodgers also received a record 57.5.
Matt Ryan.
Okay, so Matt Ryan got
right now, what did he
hit?
But this is from 2017.
Okay, so 2018,
Matt Ryan had 100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm seeing Matt Ryan 94.5 guaranteed at signing, and they have like a practical guaranteed at 100 mil.
Yeah.
And then Cousins at number 2 at 84 guaranteed.
That's what I was going off of.
Aaron Rodgers at 79.2 guaranteed, but his practical guarantee can go, I think, as high as 98.7.
Okay.
So, and Kirk Cousins, his practical top is 84 because that's the entire contract's guaranteed.
All right, so we're saying that it's going to be more
So
than
it's
that.
got to be 94.5.
Yeah.
It's got to be probably right around 100.
Get that money.
It's got to be 100, right?
Get that money.
That feels bad, y'all.
Get that
97.
Guess what? That's how much you're going to be paying Mitch, a tad bit more than that.
I mean, if he's worth it,
If he's-
okay.
Jared Goff isn't worth it.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on.
oh, yeah.
But
I agree.
Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl. What can Mitchell Trubisky do? That's the question that I think a lot of people have been
I
asking.
don't want to pay either one of them that type.
I mean, that's a whole other discussion. But if Mitchell Trubisky can get the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl, Lord willing, they winning. They can get it to the Super Bowl, then I'm with you. But if he just plays another 2 years and they're like a wild card team, maybe they win a division, but they're not going that far, he's not going to get that much money. He's not going to get what Jared Goff has done.
Here's the other
Jared
thing.
Goff might not even make it to the Super Bowl ever again.
But the thing is this, though. It's not based off of... If he gets to a wild card game, he's getting that type of money.
Even if he doesn't win it.
Yeah, because it's going to be based off. It goes off of he's your quarterback, and do you plan on keeping him? That's really all this is. You invested in him. This is the management that invested in him.
But they're going to be negotiating that.
Yeah, but they're not. He's not going to take even for the players union. He's not going to take a market dip like that. He's like, dog, when we look at the quarterbacks when we go through the quarterbacks that just get, look, Kirk Cousins doesn't deserve to have that type of money.
What did
Kirk Cousins do? What did Kirk Cousins ever do?
But the way that Minnesota looked at him is that he was a final piece for a potential Super Bowl team.
Not arguing that point. But the problem with that is this. Usually, and we've seen this with all the quarterbacks, you get more than the last one that's signed. So regardless, if he's looked at as being a top 15 quarterback, there's guys that make money that shouldn't even deserve to make that money. But because the market dictated it, that's why they signed for that type of cap.
The only person that I can see making more is going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he's going to get 200.
It's not even a question.
But it's not. But no. It's not just that.
We talking about Mitch Trubisky.
Everybody, listen, everyone that's going to sign that's a top, you can put them at 15. All the guys that are going to sign are going to get paid more than this deal. So that's how it goes.
So when Mitch signs,
what did Aaron Donald get? Mm-hmm. But remember what
Aaron Donald got 50 mil guaranteed.
Okay, and remember, because he signed it a week or 2 days later, Mac got more money than him.
Yeah, Mac was the next highest paid.
That's how I'm just saying. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I know. So after Trubisky, then you're gonna talk about
But
Baker
one
Mayfield
thing
and
I
all
want to
those
bring up
quarterbacks.
with that you pointed out, Ken. So Carson Wentz, number 2 in that draft, he signed his deal. 107.9 is the max that can go to. Guaranteed 66.4. Do you think maybe the Jared Goff deal has less on the total cap and more of just it guaranteed? So maybe in possibility that the Carson Wentz and Jared Goff deal are similar. Maybe Goff is a little bit cheaper, but he's more guaranteed.
More guaranteed money. That would make more sense if you want to make sure.
But if they're going to say he's going to have the most guaranteed, that's the real issue. Because I would love to tell you, let me give you 120, but only 40 is guaranteed. Because then basically after 2 years, 3 years, I can cut your ass.
Right.
The part you want to get away from is the guarantee money that you can't get out of if that player doesn't live up to his fulfilling his end of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to me, that's what be my fear with that. And again, with Carson Wentz, he still has an injury history too. And I'm sure in that negotiations, because one thing I always want to bring to us, this goes back to like the Jay-Z and NFL thing, Carmelo, we're talking about the Bulls. Negotiations start before we start hearing about them. Like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
So in Carson Wentz going and negotiating, I'm sure part of it was like, hey, y'all gonna get this dude up out of here? Well, something like that. You're talking about ways to compensate one another. You know, so you have one. They had a quarterback that could have taken his job on that team.
Yeah.
that some players preferred on that team, even though they saw him as their future. That's still more leverage to the team when they're going through building out the parameters of that negotiation.
So we're looking at Mitchell Trubisky, we're looking at a Baker Mayfield, we're looking at a Patrick Mahomes. What other quarterbacks are we looking at
Deshaun
right now?
Jackson. I mean,
Deshaun Watson. That's another big time not free agent, but big time young quarterback. That's
Kobe Brissett doing his own deals.
I mean,
I'm sure it's going to be some other guys too.
I mean,
that's coming up.
out
And
of
I'm like,
the
man, let's go.
Baker Mayfield draft, if any of those guys pick up, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen,
there
they're
you
gonna
go.
be right there on the cusp too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see. So where is this going to go? Where is this guaranteed money going to go? Because I think that's one
Maybe
thing
you
that's
just
definitely
guarantee a lot to your quarterback. Maybe that's where it goes.
see.
Because you know they're going to be the healthiest since the rules try to keep
not a
them
bad
healthy.
point.
Yeah,
But the thing is, man,
you need more than that though.
yeah, but you know,
Oh
what?
yeah.
You need a DN, you need a left tackle.
But maybe
you need those
it
guys.
goes even
They
at
need-
the collective bargaining. I've heard this talked about. Maybe you get like a certain allowed in money to just pay your quarterback.
That's what we talked about on here.
Yeah, that might be a
should
good idea.
it. Your listen, only half of your quarterback's cap hit should hit on the cap. Because it's just too.
But I wonder what the rest of the guys are feeling. Well, how would
They probably like it because it
how would a
wouldn't take-
Khalil Mack feel about that?
It wouldn't take his money.
Money
It
away?
would provide more money from them, though. So
they
you
have
could
their
keep
quarterbacks
more
had their
players.
own
It wouldn't
individual
even be on
salary
the
cap.
payroll
you
in a
can
way.
keep more of your own players, so more players would get high pay and get the opportunity to stay what they want to stay. But you know what? To continue this conversation and help us break down a little bit about the Bears and football in general, we're going to have Shawn Sierra, co-host of the Shawn and Maya Show, join us on the other side. Dean Davis.
Hey, this is Rich Campbell from the Chicago Tribune, and you're listening to The D and Davis Show.
D and Davis on the line right now. We have co-hosts of the Shawn and Maya in the morning. You can check them out on Logic and also get the Shawn and Maya app. We have Shawn Sierra, super back on the line with us right now. Shawn, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, I always appreciate it. And I know you've been like, okay, Ken, I'm coming back. I've had a lot. I don't want to leave you out there dry because you reached out to me. I will be back. If not in a week, the week after that, I will be back if you'll have me on Shawn and Maya Show. I always appreciate it.
You know, you're always welcome, big dog. You know that.
No doubt.
So listen, man, you know I got to go to you being a fabulous running back in your day. I want to go to some offensive line discussion because that's one of the most important things when you're talking about a running back. And Cody Whitehair got his extension. He's going to be the highest paid guard or the biggest, second largest guarantee for a guard in NFL history. Where do you rate Cody Whitehair, Shawn, when you're looking at him? And look, even with being a guard in the center, I'm sure guard is the position that is preferred. But when he came here, he did so well and made the Pro Bowl as center. How do you rate that also?
I was surprised he got that big of a contract because he hasn't played guard consistently for the Bears. I know he played guard in college, played tackle in college. He actually played the end of the entire line in college. But he was a really good guard when they moved him to center. So when they moved him back to guard, after playing James Daniel over at the guard and then switching those two, giving Whitehead the extension for the amount that they gave him, for me, it was a little shocking. Not that I didn't think he was good, but he hadn't proven himself at guard yet. I know he's a little more comfortable at guard, but hell, he made the Pro. He was one hell of a center. I was very surprised that, except for a couple of air snaps, but other than that, as far as blocking and keeping Mitch upright, that was he was great at that, and I was happy there. But we all knew the change was coming, that he was going to get back to left guard, and James Daniel was going to be the center. So when that happened, I figured, okay, cool. Get these guys back in their more comfortable positions. But when they gave him that extension, I was shocked. I'm still shocked that they gave him that much money for a guy who's not proven at that position.
Dean Davis on the line right now, Shawn Sierra. Make sure you follow him at the Shawn Sierra. Shawn, talking about James Daniels, and of course, being a young player, it's going to be hard for you to just adapt at one of those important positions. But what are some of the highlights you saw of him at the center position and some of the upgrades that he needs to make going into his second year?
James Daniel?
Yeah.
Man, that one game only. Mr. Aaron Donald. I like to introduce you to James Daniel. James Daniels, he locked him down. Dude, he locked him down like he stole some stuff, dude. I'm telling you. It was unbelievable what James Daniel, a rookie, did to Aaron Donald, NFL's defensive MVP, former defensive MVP, what he did to him win that game. And in talking with Aaron Donald, with James Daniel, he just said, hey, he stuck to his fundamentals. He didn't try to get too cute. He didn't try to get too crazy with a guy like that. And man, I was unbelievably, I was impressed to the highest degree with the performance that he had against Aaron Donald. So I knew he could play. So, and we all know that his natural position is center. And so now he's back in his natural position. So I'm really excited to see what this running game is going to do with him at his natural position and Cody Whitehair in a more natural position at left guard. And I'm excited about what that's going to look like this year. Not just the running game, but also keeping Mitch upright.
My last one on the offensive line. For anybody who doesn't know, Shawn's also a coach. Shawn, when you got a player, offensive lineman, for instance, going up against a supreme rusher or a tackle, what are some of the things you're telling them fundamentally that they need to key on to make sure they don't let this guy just totally dog them?
Well, there's a lot of things that we would do to help that guy. Depends on the position. So if it's a tackle and he's got an edge rusher, we might keep a tight end in. We might chip him. We might go on one or two. We might go on two. What we would probably do is go on one a lot the first two series, and then all of a sudden switch and go to two. So now that defensive end, the stud rusher can't really get a beat. He'll get off sides, and then you got his coach yelling and watch the ball, and that slows him down coming out of his stance. But the first thing, and that's how we would help. But as far as fundamentally, we would hammer that home. When you kick set, make sure you don't lunge at your opponent, because those good ones, they see it, they'll grab you, toss you down, and now they got it unabated. They're unabated to the quarterback. So sit tall, sit in that chair, stand tall, and punch. Just to go over. It would be a very, very, very fundamental strong week if we had like an edge rusher on a tackle.
D and Davis show on the line was right now Shawn Sierra. Make sure you follow Shawn on Twitter at the Shawn Sierra. Shawn, what's your confidence level with Trubisky going into the season?
It's pretty high. It's really high. And I'm wondering, maybe it's just a Chicago thing. How we like to do, Sox fans, Cub fans, Bears, Bulls. We're always complaining about this, that, and the other. And you know what? Sometimes just sit back and enjoy what you got. And what you got is you got an unbelievably talented. He's a raw, talented young man in Mitch Trubisky who's being taught. Like I look at him as like a blank slate, like a tabula rasa, so to speak, for all you Adam Locke people. And I think that Matt Nagy, Mark Helfrich, and Dave Ragone are kind of imprinting it and writing what they want and kind of creating what they want, because Mitch is green. He keeps coming out green, 13 starts at UNC. You can really throw out his redshirt year with the Bears. And so he's just willing to learn. He's soaking everything up like a sponge, and they can kind of create, we can build them better, stronger, faster, like the $6 million man, kind of create their quarterback. And I'm loving the confidence that he has. Now he's more than comfortable being the leader of that offense, taking command of the huddle. That's what I look for. And toward the end of the season, I saw that in the playoff game. I saw that big time. And unlike a lot of Chicago fans, I'm not worried. I think this kid's going to come out and have a spectacular year. I think he's definitely going to be in the MVP conversation. Whether or not he wins it, I don't know. But hell, just getting in that MVP conversation means you've taken a big step forward, which is what a lot of people are worried about, if he's going to do or not, take a step forward.
What do you think Nagy and Pace are going to do when it comes to the tight end position? You have Burton out with another groin injury or battling a groin injury, possibly going to be out for the first game, and Adam Shaheen not living up to his draft position.
Well, luckily with the wide receiver position, they're not dependent on one guy. And, you have Allen Robinson, it's so funny. On my show, I kept telling people, people are talking about the no real number one receiver and talking about Mitch. I'm like, listen, Allen Robinson is a stud. You saw that toward the end of the season. You saw that in the playoff game. You saw this dude is a straight up legit number one stud receiver. Now this year he's coming off a summer where he gets to train for the season and not rehab like he did last year before coming to the Bears. That's a whole different ballgame. So you got him. You have Taylor Gabriel. You have Cordell Patterson. You got Riley Ridley. You got Javon Wims. Dude, he was playing like his football career was on the line. Like, so they were holding his family ransom. He was balling. He was balling this training camp. And, Javon Wims. I mean, there's tons and tons of receivers. So Trey Burton being down, I wasn't a big fan of Trey Burton. I think mentally, I don't think he's where I would want a football player to be. Adam Shaheen still has got to, one, stay healthy, and two, show that he can play at this level. So I'm not too worried about the receivers because there's just a plethora of receivers that can make plays. I didn't even mention Cordell Patterson. I didn't even mention Tariq Cohen coming out of the backfield. I didn't even mention Anthony Miller. I mean, there's so many different things. I'm not worried about the receiving core. I'm happy that Mitch has got so many different weapons, because who are you going to cover? Because when you decide to double cover one person, we saw last year every Taylor Gabriel, Allen Robinson, and Trey Burton all had games over 100 yards of reception. So who are you going to cover? Who you want to double team? Because we'll just go to the next guy.
Now, you actually just brought him up, Tariq Cohen. I was going to ask you, you're a running back, you coach. If you had him on your team, but you also have David Montgomery, how are you going to use Tariq Cohen and really use his strengths now that you have a Patterson and a Montgomery back in possibly a Patterson in the backfield, but definitely Montgomery? How would you use him to really let him shine still?
Every which way I could. He'd be in motion. He'd be at the wing. Same thing he did last year. But you know what? Now you can't really key on him, because if you want to key on him and kind of go where he's at, well, guess what? Now you got a stud running back in the backfield who can make plays. You have a Cordell Patterson who can make plays. Cordell Patterson is like Tariq Cohen, except bigger and not as shifty. He's unbelievably fast. He's powerful. He's a big man. He's 2 1/4. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to arm tackle this joker. Nope. You mean you got to hit this guy? As we saw last year when he ran the kickoffs back for us against the Patriots. He's no punk, and he's one strong dude. And to have a guy who can go in motion, and have a guy who can be, jet sweep and all that. I mean, you can do so many different things. I mean, think of a reverse. You jet sweep it, you hand it to Cordell Patterson or Tariq Cohen, and then he flips it to, or either one flips it to the other person coming back. I mean, there's speed all over. And with Tariq Cohen, you have to respect him. And I would get him on linebackers. I'd get him mostly on linebackers because we have Taylor Gabriel. You have all those other guys who can take the safeties and the corners and get Tariq Cohen in space. I want to get him on a linebacker predominantly as much as possible, because they, as you all know, they definitely can't hang with Tariq Cohen.
Dean Davis on the line right now, Shawn Sierra. Follow him at the Shawn Sierra. He's also the co-host of Shawn and Maya. Make sure you check out facebook.com/Shawn and Maya, and also get the Shawn and Maya app. Shawn, look, you said Mitch is going to be well. The receiving core is stacked. We talked about some of the depth at the running back position. If there is a position or something going on as far as on one side of the ball or the other, what are you concerned about going into the season with the Bears?
Kicker. That's it. Eddie Pinheiro comes out, kicks. He wins the job, and then he blows the first extra point. Like, come on, dude.
See about that.
I mean, granted, he came back three straight makes with 3 field goals, I believe, with extra points, and that was great. But the only thing about kickers, you don't know. Like, you can't judge a kicker. You can't judge. Kickers is the most difficult thing to quantify or to evaluate, because a guy is the Luke Rosa Award winner and hit 60-yarders in practice and has done it in college, that doesn't mean jack spit in the NFL, because it's a different game in the NFL. You guys are bigger, stronger, faster. Guys are talking smack. It's a whole different game. You can have guys who are, all-American kickers and just suck at the next level. I mean, Robbie Gould, one of the best kickers, he was cut by, was it the Giants? I mean, they got him off the street, and he turned out to be, probably the best kicker in Chicago Bears history. So it's an unexact science, and I hope the Bears got it right. They hope they got it right. but that's the only position on offense that I'm concerned with, and that's not even offense, that's special teams, but that's plays as part of the offense, and that's the only position I'm worried about on that side of the ball because I think Mitch is really comfortable in this offense. You saw it how he played in the playoff game. Not only did he drive him down and score with that beautiful pass to Allen Robinson in the down the right sideline in the playoff game, but when they lost the lead, he drove him back down into field goal range. Before the double doink. So, he didn't do it once. He did it twice. And if that's why I'm so befuddled as to why people are saying, well, Mitch needs to take the next step. Mitch needs to take the next step. What step does he need to take? He did everything he needed to do at the end of that game in crunch time in a playoff game to win. So when people start saying next step, people are just saying that because they're parents and they heard someone say it, so they want to say it. And he obviously can identify defenses. He can identify the mic. He can identify when blitzes are coming. He's been able to change plays into positive plays. He's done everything. If you watch the last 2 regular season games and the playoff, you will see he's done all that. But I don't understand why Chicago fans are still worried if he's going to quote unquote take the next step.
I know when I say next step, I mean be consistent like he was down the end of that playoff game. Because to me, the best part of that playoff game was see him take them down the field the way he did, especially after having a shaky first half. That's what gave you the feeling that, we may have something here. But look, real quick on the kicking, I want to ask you this. With those kickers that complain to Sports Illustrated about the process that took place this offseason, when you first heard about that, what was your thoughts? Do you think Nagy and Pace went too far? It's just much to do about nothing?
Oh, shut up and kick. Shut your ass up and kick. Bottom line, you're a kicker. You have one job. You got one job. Put it through the uprights. That's it. That's your only job. That's your only job. And it shouldn't matter if there's 1. It shouldn't matter if there's 10. It shouldn't matter if there's 50 kickers. You put it through the uprights every single time. Guess what? You win. And if you're complaining about the process, and you know what, then those are the mentally frail people that I don't want kicking for the Bears anyway. Well, it wasn't a fair process. They had us, they were mean to me. I had to go suck my thumb in the corner. Get out of here. It's not for you then, okay? If you want competition, if you want to win a job, you want to kick for the Bears because you know damn well they are a legit Super Bowl contender, then you know what? Put it through the uprights every single time, and then you have nothing. There's nothing else to say. Nothing more, nothing less, because you have one job and one job only. Not like the quarterback, not like the running back or the receivers or the offensive linemen or the tackle, DTs or the linebackers or DBs. You got one job. Kick the ball through the uprights and shut your mouth.
We just need a meme. We need that meme from Thibodeau. Do your job. That's all you got to do. That's it. D and Davis Show on the line with right now, Shawn Sierra. Make sure you follow Shawn on Twitter at the Shawn Sierra. Shawn, let me ask you this. What's more likely to happen? The Bears offense to be a top 10 offense or the Bears defense to fall out of the top 10?
More likely to happen?
Yeah.
Oh man, the Bears offense is top 10. That it's a progression. You saw the growth of the offense. You got to remember that when you're in a new offense, it takes time. You got new players. You have new blocking schemes. You have new pass protection. You got new route trees. You have chemistry that you have to develop, and you can't develop it just in the off season. You can start to develop it, but you can't. Allen Robinson wasn't 100%, so how can you develop chemistry with a guy who's not 100%? Because later in the year he's going to be at a different speed. So Taylor Gabriel, all the other receivers, Trey Burton, they were just getting used to Mitch. That was it. And it took time. There were some lumps. There were some bumps in the road. And you saw how smooth it got. And people talk about the playoff game in how the Bears only scored 17 points. Well, guess what? It's the playoffs. You're facing the defending Super Bowl champions at the time, and they're pretty good. But that's what the team that didn't have chemistry, that developed the chemistry along the way. This team, I am confident, is going to be much more efficient. And don't forget, with this defense, they're going to have a lot of short fields. All the balls that the defense doesn't take, they don't take to the house. That's going to be a short field for Mitch and the crew. So it's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities for Mitch thanks to our defense, if they can't take it to the house. Because damn well they're trying to go to the house. They're trying to make a house call every time they get their hands on the ball.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Now, a little bit about the Packers. So the Packers defense upgraded, draft, free agency, all that. What do you expect them to do to try to slow down a Mitchell Trubisky, who you said you had a lot of faith in coming into the season?
They're going to show different looks. You're gonna blitz. The thing you want to do is you want to say, okay, some people, if some defensive coordinators, and I don't think it'll be very many, wonder if you can handle a blitz. Well, if you go back and you watch some of the games in the last couple of games of the season, because that's what you don't give a damn about the beginning of the season last year, because that's a whole different Mitch. You want to look at the most recent Mitch and say the playoff game, and that's the last 2 or 3 regular season games. And you say, okay, this guy seems like he can deal with the blitz. Let me try it. And if he burns you once, well, then now you're going to have to disguise coverages. Now you're going to have to do a lot better thing than just blitz. Because if you blitz and you end up in man and he gets you, what did we talk about? We talked about all that speed that the Bears have. Yeah, he's going to get us one of those playmakers. He's going to be that point guard that he talked about. He's going to get to those playmakers 10 yards downfield, and they're going to do the rest. So I would say blitz him early, see if he can handle it. If he can, then you're going to have to do your best to disguise coverages and do some stunts and twists up front, try and mess with the offensive line to get him out of rhythm, get him out of the pocket, get his eyes off of downfield. But don't blitz too often because you're going to get caught. And when you do get caught, there's too much speed for you to deal with in that receiving core.
Dean Davis on the line right now. House music head, Mr. Loud on his feet. You can find him at any party going on. Shawn Sierra. Shawn, look, I want to ask you this. With this game coming up, what do you expect? And I mean, it's very hard with teams not playing in preseason to even kind of get a feel if you even use preseason to make that judgment. What do you expect Thursday night? And also with this division playing out, as far as the Pack and the Vikings and the Bears, how do you think they're going to finish out towards the end of this year?
All right, I'll give you the first answer to your question. That's this week. On Thursday, I'm really looking forward to the Bears to explode. I'm really looking forward to them coming out. They haven't played. They're pumped. If you remember what happened last year, week 1, they had a big lead, and all of a sudden, second half, Aaron Rodgers did his thing, and Mitch looked like a deer in headlights. I can tell you this, Mitch is a huge competitor, I think, as we all know. And Mitch wants to make up for that. Mitch wants to make up for that deer in headlights look. And, they won the second game. It's great. That was here last year, but that was at home. But you know what? That opening night game and a repeat of us being opening night. Remember, it was Sunday night for them last year. Now they're the first game of the 100th year of the NFL, 100th year of the Bears. There's a lot of emotion in there. I think Mitch is going to want to show he's grown up a lot in that game. I think he wants to show he wants to be in that. He's on his way to being in the upper tier of quarterbacks. He's not there yet, but he wants to show that he's on his way. That defense, I think they are thirsty. Them some dogs over there. And I'm telling you, those guys are going to unleash hell's fury come Thursday, and I can't wait. I'm excited. So I really think that the offense is really going to do some things that are going to shock people. I think the defense is going to do some things that's like, yeah, that's about right. But I'm excited to see it all put together. Now, for the division, yeah, I'm more worried about Minnesota than I am about Green Bay. I'm much more worried about Minnesota. They got a defense. They have Dalvin Cook. If you watch him in the preseason, Lord have mercy. My man is wow.
Just a second before he hurts himself, Shawn.
Wow.
Just going to be a second before he injures himself, Shawn.
Pardon?
Says just going to be a second before he injures himself, Shawn.
Man,
I look at him every time in my fantasy league, and I be like, I should, and I be like, nah, he's gonna get hurt. But go ahead,
Dude,
please continue.
no, Dalvin Cook is the real deal. So he's the one. They're the one team that I'm concerned about more so in the division than the Packers. So, I think it's going to be Bears or Vikings all when it comes down to it at the end. But I just don't think Green Bay has what it takes. I think they're in a little bit of a situation. Their new coach and Aaron Rodgers might not be seeing eye to eye and arguing and fighting and complaining and whatever. And fine, you do that. You do that amongst yourselves while we go take care of this division. So I just don't think the Packers have what it takes this year with their upgrades.
All right, Shawn, give us a score for Thursday game.
35-17.
Money, all right.
I like that.
Man, I don't know, man.
But
Some odd
telling
reason
you,
I'm not
Mitch,
right there
He
yet.
wants to show. They're going to show out. It's like, oh, you thought you were okay. You thought I wasn't ready. Oh, you thought I had to take, quote unquote, take a big step. You thought, okay, watch.
All right, yeah, you heard it here first. 35. You said 35-17?
35-17.
35-17.
Hey, I hope the Bears defense heard me. They might be mad at me. Like 17 points. We ain't giving us 17 points. You crazy as hell.
There you go. Yeah, especially with that Packers offense, man. We don't know what's going to happen with them. Hey, Shawn, man, I really appreciate it, man. Hopping on with us, man, breaking it down for us. Love to have you on again sometime soon, all right?
Hey, no problem, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Shawn.
All right, that's Shawn Sierra, co-host of the Shawn and Maya show, Shawn and Maya in the morning. Make sure you follow Shawn on Twitter at the Shawn Sierra. We're gonna come on back, maybe go up for grabs. D and Davis show.
Yo, what's up? This is Rashid Hadi, and you're listening to the D and Davis show. Yeah.
D and Davis show. We are back, and it is time to go up for grabs with Brian Bukoveski. Brian, what you got for us this week?
Well, we got the all-important Bears-Packers week, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this matchup, and I wanted to start off with the Bears offense versus the Packers defense. What do you think the best way for the Bears to attack this Packers defense, or what do you think the Packers defense will do to try to stop Mitch Trubisky?
Oh, they're going to try to put pressure on him. Mike Pettin, you look at the fact that they brought in Amos, they brought in Preston Smith and Zardarius Smith. I mean, they're trying to be a better defensive team. They're trying to give Pettin the tools to go with his defensive philosophy. So they're going to try to confuse him, and they're going to try to pressure him. That's basically the two things you're going to see them trying to do. And also, they're going to try to limit his running opportunities if they can, because that's really that's where he can hurt them as far as if they keep him in the pocket. And my last thing, they're going to try to keep him in the pocket. Mitch Trubisky's key this year is to prove that he can win from the pocket, because that's what most teams are going to try to do. But the Bears have so many weapons that a 5-yard pass can turn into a long run. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best part of everything. Even when we're talking to Shawn, talking about Cordero Patterson, talking about Tariq Cohen, talking about all the receivers, David Montgomery. But we look, and this is small potatoes, but Kerf White is a burner. So they're going to sit there and try to keep his ass in the pocket and make him try to win the game for him. That's all you really can do with a young quarterback. Make him win the game and make him cause turnovers.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think it's going to be a lot of pressure. Going to be try to, kind of keep him off kilter. If they do flush him out, yes, he does have the legs. But if you flush him out, he has those legs. You can give him one good lick, and maybe you won't have to worry about him no more. Give him a good licking. But no, I think that's probably the biggest thing they're going to do. Maybe try to keep him in the pocket. I agree with Ken on that. But this, when it comes down to where I'm not yet sold on Mitch. So they're going to make him beat them from the pocket. So now he has to deliver the ball, throw the ball to those receivers, to those running backs, try to, as Ken said, make a 5-yard pass that could possibly turn into the house. But now they have to make him do that. So I'm not yet sold on that. Last season was good. The last drive was great. But when it comes to now, it's just, I guess, just kind of the new wave of the NFL. A lot of the coaches don't even want to play their starters in the preseason games. We don't know exactly, and we not there to practice with him every practice, so we don't know exactly what he's capable to do. So I'm worried about a slow start to the offense. Although you have all these weapons, I'm worried about that slow start. And I think if Green Bay can keep him in the pocket and make him beat them with his arm instead of his legs, which is a huge advantage for Mitchell Trubisky. I think if they can keep him in the pocket, I think they'll be able to kind of, put some type of pressure on him like that.
Yeah, I think basically what you guys are saying, I think the other part is if I was Mike Pettin in the Green Bay defense, I think I would really load up the box and try to stop everything underneath. Force him to throw it deep, especially early. Force him to make that throw, to make that big play, and then worst case, you can always adjust out of it and then let him have some of that underneath. But that's where Mitch does. Underneath, RPO, and then that run that they're going to do with the new running back. So I expect them to say, beat us over the top first, and then you can have your stuff underneath if I'm the Packers.
So this is where a big sign like Amos come in for the Packers. Okay, yeah, you played against this guy in practice all the time last season.
And you might not have Trey Burton, so it might make his job that much easier.
Exactly. So I don't know. We'll see with that.
Next question, still sticking with this game. I want to know your guys' thoughts on who the X Factor player is, whether he's with Green Bay or with the Bears.
Oh, it's... that's a good question.
Just one X Factor? Or could it be like one for the Bears, one for the...
I'll accept
the biggest
both.
X Factor player. I want to say Khalil Mack. I mean, think about what Khalil Mack did last year, and that's without training camp, right? But think about what Aaron Rodgers did last year, hurt.
Yeah.
In that
one
first
leg.
game.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be BSing and being homers if we don't say it's Aaron Rodgers is overall on the field, because he's not even a system guy. I mean, now he's in a new system, but this is a dude that can play Sandlot on your ass. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even mean Sandlot with just running around. I mean Sandlot with getting to the line, seeing something he doesn't like, and just changing the whole script. So, but I do think if...
wasn't one of the biggest issues that they having so far up in Green Bay with the offensive audibles?
Well, Matt LaFleur came out yesterday and said that he can't audible. Then got kind of on the media today and said, I don't see why you guys keep bringing it up. Basically, there are adjustments in this system. Just because you don't call it an audible doesn't mean there aren't adjustments. But this is the crazy thing, though. This is the Kyle Shanahan,
Sean McVay.
So let's think about this. As soon as I say Kyle Shanahan, I know how. To you, what's your first thought?
Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
RG3.
So then what about Kyle Shanahan, the biggest game that he's ever had a part of?
Oh, Atlanta in the Super Bowl.
And what was needed mostly in that game?
They needed to run the ball.
And it was an audible. Because it was a pass play.
Yeah.
Remember, we were at that game like, run the rock, right? And then Sean McVay, you know damn well with the young quarterback and Jared Goff, there's a little bit of hand being held. So these coaches, basically how they're coaching, they don't coach to give that freedom to that quarterback. Like Matt Ryan.
Yeah, you should go up with two plays.
Yes.
You choose one of the two plays.
Yeah.
But you got two veterans, but you have to have respect and at least you know what you think they know what they're doing. With a Matt Ryan and an Aaron Rodgers, they should be able to go out there and just do whatever they want to do.
I agree, but I think it's twofold. All these coaches who view themselves as being great tacticians have seen what's been going on in Green Bay for the last 5 years and basically like, what the hell are they doing? Remember, this shotgun slant type stuff they used to run, man, you can run that all day with Donald Driver and James Jones.
Yeah.
You know, like when you got Jordy Nelson,
a young Cobb.
Michael Finley, Jermichael Finley for a couple years.
Right.
Yeah, you can pull all that off because they had. Remember, we used to tell this was 6 years ago. Hey, it's only one player on the Packers team they didn't draft, right? And they were balling when this was happening. It wasn't like, oh, they got scrubs and they were doing it or cheap. So think about all these coaches looking at as this goes on and the talent level decreases in Green Bay, these plays don't work anymore. And Aaron Rodgers, because Mike McCarthy isn't innovating, is like, I'm changing all this stuff up at the line, right? Because I see this matchup. This is what's going to work because we're not beating anybody with this old philosophy that we're going in. So he's a guy that's used to I flip it. So I'm sure if I'm a coach, my first thought is I want you to calm down a little bit, right? Because one, this is a new system for all these guys. And I don't know if you guys read any of the reports that came out between was reported between McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers about how McCarthy would tell a wide receiver to run. Listen, you run this, and Mike McCarthy wasn't talking. Aaron would change it. The receiver will have to decide who he was going to listen to.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about.
You better listen to Rodgers.
Situations like that's the
better
fact.
listen to Aaron.
Situations like that, you're trying to put that fire out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, just look first. Let's learn how to do the basics before we start flipping it, right? Like, so I think that's kind of when we're talking about Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, where they're trying to get on the same page. But of course, you're going to allow Aaron Rodgers some liberties that you wouldn't allow 95% of other quarterbacks in the NFL. Easy to say. You should, because
probably maybe him, Tom Brady, and
Drew Brees. Yeah.
Maybe Matt Ryan too.
No. He showed us that.
Who's his offensive coordinator?
He just showed us.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but
yeah, it's probably just them three.
Yeah, just you're gonna allow those guys to, in a way.
We said Mahomes, right?
But still, the thing is, even with it being theirs. No, not Mahomes yet.
I wouldn't say Mahomes.
Not Mahomes yet. No. You're going to get Texas Tech Mahomes.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to get Cliff Kingsbury Mahomes. You want Andy Reid Mahomes.
Right.
But still, you want to make sure the foundation is set.
All right. So Ken says Aaron Rodgers. You know what? I'm going to go with the rookie Montgomery, because I think if you're able to establish that run, that's going to throw that Packers defense off a little bit, and then you'll be able to see if Mitchell can really utilize the weapons that he has on the outsides. So I think if Montgomery comes in and kind of just that steady running back, and it's like, okay, they are really complete now, because you don't have a cat that's my size running between the tackles. You're not worried about what's the backup, Mike Davis. Mm-hmm. You're not worried about him coming out there. Yeah, you got Cordell Patterson, but he's more of a kind of a wild card kind of a guy. If you have that steady running back out there behind Mitchell Trubisky, that's going to open up so much more for the Bears offense this game, and truthfully, if we say it's healthy, for the remainder of the season. So I'm going to go with David Montgomery as being my X factor.
Let me piggyback on that. It's not just David Montgomery. It's Matt Nagy's faith in the run game and dedication to it through David Montgomery.
I think if he performs, I think he will see it a lot.
But even last year, there were times where even if you're handcuffed by the fact that Jordan Howard isn't an all-around back, you got to use what you have. So even regardless, you have to look. I was screaming at the entire season. If it's running back by committee, let's just say David Montgomery is good, but it's still running back by committee. You still have to run that committee.
Run the ball. Yes, I agree with you.
You can't become one-dimensional with a young quarterback.
I agree with you.
He's not ready for that.
No, that's why I said I think you're 100% right. You're 100% right with that. So yeah, that's my X factor, David Montgomery.
I'll go with another Green Bay guy. I'll go with their running back, Aaron Jones, because he didn't play much against the Bears. He was suspended in that first game last year, and then he only had like 4 or 5 carries before he had the season-ending injury in the second matchup with the Bears. And with this system, this is the Todd Gurley Ram system. That's what's supposed to be the benefit for Aaron Rodgers being with Matt LaFleur.
Devontae Freeman.
Right. They're going to give a lot to the running back. This is going to be a running team using a lot more play action off of that run and giving things even easier to Aaron Rodgers. So the Bears have to make sure that they stop Aaron Jones and don't allow Green Bay to have a running game, because the last thing you want to do is give control to that Packers offense of that clock and put even more pressure on Mitch to make throws.
That's what I've seen Aaron Rodgers do without a running game.
Yeah, exactly.
Bears.
Yeah. But you know what? I think
he was the running game.
I think Aaron Rodgers now in this point in his career would be so okay with having a steady, good running game. Because
see Dan Marino.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not even that. His health, because he's been banged up the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think he's had the collarbone 2 years ago.
Yeah,
the leg last year.
This pass the rock off. And I agree with you, Ken. I know he want to sling it, but I think Aaron is smart enough to understand. Let me extend this career of mine just by handing this rock off, and if LaFleur can get a running game going. I mean, it's still old school football in my opinion. I was screaming this last year, and Ken kind of alluded to it with Jordan Howard. Run the damn ball,
especially the control time.
Yeah, just run
and
the
help
ball.
Defense.
exactly.
It's like spread. It's like
Even if you're not being successful, it takes time off the clock. It keeps the other team's offense off the field.
Everybody not the Warriors. I know this is NBA.
Like you pointed out, D,
everybody's not the same. Run the ball.
Mitch, he doesn't have to be as great if he can just hand it off once in a while and really trust that force.
Or dink. Listen.
And play action opens up. Maybe those throws are even more wide open.
Their dink and dunk game is going to be so dangerous.
It should be.
Because who they're dinking and dunking to.
Right.
You don't have just Tariq Cohen. You got Cordell Patterson right there.
And David Montgomery.
I was just about to say, you got David Montgomery right there. You got, hey, what is that? Taylor Gabriel running around. Like, you have all these weapons right here that you could sit there and exploit them when, like, I'll tell you this, and I'm having us talking about this has been on my mind. I'm going to be disappointed in Matt Nagy, and you all know how big of a fan I am of Matt Nagy.
You are a huge fan.
But game by game, during the game, the big thing will be with his in-game adjustments. Because with all the weapons on that offense, there should be a way to win.
Wait a minute.
There should be a way to score. Let me put it like this. No. There should be a way to score.
But this is the issue. If we're seeing that, I think that's on Mitchell. Because Nagy's playbook is supposed to be this in-depth genius of a book. But if he can't dive into beyond chapter 2, but we can get to chapter 25. There's an issue, and it's probably Mitchell Trubisky.
But the thing, even what I'm saying with that, you have to accentuate his best traits, but you have the weapons to pull Mitch back. Like even compared to last year, where from like game 7 or 8 till the end of the season, you can see kind of dial Mitch back. Now you have to go into that playbook, pick the play to exploit, give him the looks, give him 3 options. Look, so-and-so's going to be right. The Cordell Patterson's going to be right there. Allen Robinson's going to be up top. You can have Anthony Miller on a slant, and you got Tariq right here in the backfield ready to go in case he needs to release. You like simplify.
But
like
if
don't try to out wonder yourself. Is my thing.
But you're saying if you're not seeing that
in-game adjustments. I'm saying in-game adjustments. I need now. Look,
I think the quarterback is the extension of the coach, and if the quarterback is not performing well,
but he made bad in-game adjustments last year. He should have ran the ball.
I agree with that, but I think that was his rookie. I think that was his rookie season too, when he trying to figure. I agree.
So I'm going back to that was his rookie year. I'm a fan. We still have to hold his feet to the flames.
I agree.
So he has to show us that you know what, Mitch isn't having a good game. I'm gonna do this right. Like okay, we gonna run it. I got 5 bad plays. Like anything can happen on these plays for him. Like we need to see him be able to manage every game, quarter to quarter to quarter situations. Like we need to see this. I'm a big fan of his. I want to see his progression. We keep talking about Mitch's progression.
I agree.
We need to see the rookie, the second-year head coach do the same.
My third up for grabs is going to go a little bit outside to the entire NFL. It's a really exciting week 1 slate. I'm just curious, do you guys have a matchup that you're excited for? And it could even be just because your fantasy guys are playing. Just whatever is going to definitely be on the TV this Sunday.
Man, forget fantasy this year.
Yeah, why you so down on the fantasy? What happened? Dude, we got to talk about that too.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah, man, we got to talk about that. It's got to be on the mics, man. We got to get them in depth. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure all this out.
We got, of course, Green Bay against Chicago, Tennessee versus Cleveland. No. Baltimore versus Miami. No. Atlanta versus Minnesota. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Buffalo versus New York City Jets. The battle of the second-year QBs.
Yes, that might be pretty good.
Washington versus Philly. Not really. Ooh, LA versus the Rams versus the Carolina Panthers.
That's a juicy one to me.
That's titillating. Kansas City versus the Jags. Good to see the next step of Patrick Mahomes, but are the Jags for real?
Are they back?
Is that defense back? Yeah, we want to see what Foles is doing, but is that defense back to where it needs to be? This is a sad one right here. Listen, this would have been an oldie but goodie 15 years ago.
Tampa Bay?
Indy versus the Chargers.
Indies versus the Chargers?
Yeah, because that would have been young Phillip Rivers versus Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And then you would have old Phillip Rivers versus Andrew Luck, and now it's the Jacoby Brissett Bowl. Cincy versus Seattle is a no. NY versus the Giants versus Dallas, the Giants. Detroit versus Arizona. Hell no.
San Fran, Tampa Bay.
Hell no.
Pittsburgh, New England.
That's
yeah, that might be a good one.
That one. And
that's
Monday
a steady
night,
one.
you got Houston versus New Orleans. We'll see the unveil
at New Orleans too,
and we'll see how that defense is now without Clowney, who balled the last 3 seasons. And I wonder, man. I guess Laramie Tunsil should be ready to go. It's gonna be some calls. like that's quick for Laramie Tunsil's to know all the verbiage.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it is,
I don't
man.
know if he's playing for sure, but I would think he's probably going to be out there.
There's nobody better.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to put
You
him
better
out
put
there.
him out there.
And then last you have, this has always seemed like the first Monday night game of the season. Denver versus Oakland. It's kind of intriguing, even though Oakland is bad. But I guess to see what AB is doing, Antonio Brown and Chucky John Gruden would be interesting. And our boy Vic Fangio's first game as a head coach. So for me, it's definitely Kansas City. We're taking the Bears out of this.
Yeah.
It's definitely Kansas City and the Jags is tasty. That'll be my number one, and then Pitt versus New England.
Good old Pitt.
Pitt. Good old gonna win a division, Pittsburgh Steelers.
My number one, not just yet. Hold on. My number one will probably be Pittsburgh versus New England. The champs be hosting the Steelers. I'm sorry.
Thinking Cubs right there.
Yeah, I am. You know what? Atlanta and Minnesota.
That's juicy too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that one either. That would be up there for me too.
Two quarterbacks you may not be able to trust.
Yeah, but you like Atlanta this year.
Yeah, I told you.
I think Minnesota's going to be better.
I got coming out of. I think Atlanta may come out of the South this year. I think this may be the year.
Yeah.
And that's in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota too. That would be my number two. And that's strictly, also too because of the division with Minnesota.
Exactly.
And probably KC versus the Jags. I just think, Kansas City. Didn't LaShawn McCoy end up in Kansas City?
Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did.
He did. Think
he's got the Dalvin Cook thing.
True.
Tell me when he's healthy.
But this is the thing, though. I think KC might be possibly. If they wasn't on another level last year, they might be on another level offensively this year. The defense still is kind of like, okay, just do your job. That KC,
survive.
That KC offense.
Oh, it's gonna be.
They might be on another
We're about
level.
to see in the net pro if he stays healthy within this season, next 3 years, some stuff we've never seen.
He might be on. Could you imagine the Bears had Mahomes?
They would have messed him up.
Let's not go there. We don't want to ruin it. We don't want to make this throw up week.
If everything-
He would be closer to.
Why are you turning this into throw up
Texas
week?
Tech Patrick Mahomes.
I'm just saying, if Nagy would have had his hands on Patrick Mahomes, that'd have been great. But no, I think number 3 for me would probably be KC and Jacksonville.
What was your number one?
Pittsburgh and New England.
Yeah, that one is really
It's
up there for
it's
me.
an oldie but goodie.
I know, and especially the Sunday night standalone. I love that. I'm going to go Carolina, Los Angeles. I'm really curious about this because I think Carolina's pretty good. I think the Rams, everyone talks about the Bears as being that team with their aggression. I feel like the Rams are more that team than the Bears.
Regression?
Yeah.
You think so?
Not that I necessarily think they're going to be bad. I picked them to win the division and still be in the playoffs and a threatening team, but we don't know with Todd Gurley. I don't know fully with that defense. They've got some new offensive line starters. Are they going to be just a flat out 12 win or 13 win team again? They might regress down to 11 or 10 wins.
I was going to say about 10 to 11. I can see that.
So
'cause Seattle's going to be better this year.
Right, and I don't think they're going to have a huge drop off, but just a little bit. And Carolina, again, I think that they're a solid team. I don't know with Cam's health, but if they get off to a good start, especially at home against the Rams, that would be a really great start for them, especially in a really tough division. So that would probably be my number one out of the de factos that you guys didn't take. But definitely Pittsburgh, New England. I do want to see Houston, New Orleans, even though I think Houston's probably going to lose that game, but I want to see it.
Why you say that?
I just think with all the turmoil that they're having on offense, the Saints coming in at home.
We don't know.
I think this game will be a lot closer than people expect.
Could be.
I can feel you. See, this would be the thing. How fast out the gate does New Orleans come?
Well, I think they got to go right out the gate.
Because they see them,
but they don't.
They don't, though. They never do.
But then the kicker is how long, and we talked about this last week, how many bullets does Drew Brees have in that arm during later on in the year, especially if they're outside.
True.
But how fast, that'll be interesting to see is, does New Orleans come straight out the gate?
Kamara can keep him, can let Breeze have a few more bullets in the chamber.
Well, I think
because how great he is.
Well, he was there last year. And Breeze was tired at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, but
he was there.
But see, Ken, to your point, it's a Houston team, so they're the AFC. It's not as important, but they have to get home field if they're going to have any shot of getting to the Super Bowl.
They always say that.
Oh, you talking about New Orleans?
Yeah, so they have to win as much, especially in this NFC where you don't know.
That's a problem. You can have a playoff game at home, but if you have to, for the championship game, go on the road, you have to go on the road.
And you know they can't.
I know, and that's a problem.
I know, that's why I don't like
that's
that
a problem, dog. Like, we need an extra arm over here. Like, Teddy, get that ready. What's the athletic other quarterback they got back there? Is it Steele?
Oh, no, what's his name? Kenny Hill, or Hill?
Yeah,
It's
Hill.
Taysom Hill, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Because they got to make a decision on which one of those guys they're going to keep around. But anyway, yeah.
My last up for grabs.
Did you say what yours was? Your game? Did you say your
Yeah,
game?
I went to Carolina, Los Angeles,
you did.
but you guys picked some really good ones that I
Jared
would have
Goff's going
definitely
to come out there with all types of chains on.
Hey, he's got that money now.
Fresh money. Well, listen, his phone just started ringing out in L.A.
Ooh. He's got girls calling from different area codes.
Hey, good for him.
Move over with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Good for him.
My last question deals with baseball. We'll stick with the Cubs. Right now, they got an 80.1% playoff odds chance. Do you think that that's
just making it?
Yeah, just making it. With wild card, not counting division, but getting to the postseason based on ESPN.com. Is that too high, too low, just right?
I mean, they lead the first wild card, right?
No, they're the second wild card. The Nationals are the first wild card.
How far are they behind the Nationals?
Last I checked, they were 3.5. Let me give you the up-to-date. It is currently 3.5.
What's the next closest team to the Cubs?
The Phillies at 2.5. The Diamondbacks are 3.5. Brewers, Mets tied at 4.
But St. Louis has a real tough schedule down the end of the road.
They both play each other at the end too.
They play. They do a home and away. But I also think their record recently against teams over 500 isn't as great. It's slightly too high probability when there's teams just a couple games behind you that there is a chance that you can be caught up. But listen, I'm not a homer like that. I had the Cubs winning this division. I had the Cubs in the playoffs. I still do. These last 3 weeks, it's been like, what?
What team is out there?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's befuddling, actually, when you see what's going on and what's missing. Crazy things is just like something's just missing.
I tell you what's missing. Usually, you have a healthy lineup, but every time somebody comes back, somebody's gone.
Yeah.
That lineup is not consistent, and they stink on the road. They're a game under teams that have played that are 500. They're 36-37 on the road. They're 28-39. At home, they're fine, 46-24. That's not all of baseball.
Yeah.
I say it's low. I say it's too high.
What would you say it should be? I think
Yeah, because Ken
75. I think
you making it
75.
sound like it's 60.
No, I think it should be 75.
No, you just said like let's drop it down a couple. D's like, oh, they're out.
Yeah, I think it should be. I would give them a 70-75% because I just think the variable, like if they were if the Nationals were 7 games up of the second wild card and the Cubs were 5, I say like 80's fine, but that's a bad weekend.
You want to hear this too? Yesterday I checked that they were 73 point. And so after one day, they jumped up to 80.
I was going to say probably like 65 to 70% chance for them to make it.
I knew you were going 60.
About 65 to 70%.
I think it's...
Let me look at the rest of their schedule, though, because is the majority of their schedule, is it kind of like at least 50-50 on the road and at home? Let me look it up, because...
Yeah, I'm not I know that they go to the Brewers this weekend for a 4-game, and they go, I think... No, they're hosting the Brewers. They have to go to St. Louis, but they're also hosting St. Louis. I think it's pretty mixed down the middle, but I think they play more games at home, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they have the... This is... Okay, they're going on the road against... 4 against Milwaukee, 4 against San Diego. All right, but then you have... You got a nice little home schedule. 3 at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is here for 3 games. Cincinnati's here for 3 games. And then you have St. Louis here for 3 games. But they go back on the road... 3 for the Pirates, 3 at the Pirates, and 3 at St. Louis. So,
I mean, wait. So this last month, we're talking about they face off again. They face some sorry teams. It's baseball, I know.
It's the road, man.
But dog, you got Milwaukee who's folding, San Diego, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, the Cub Killers, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, St. Louis. All they really have to do is beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Right.
True.
And do well enough against your divisional opponents.
But I'm including them. I'm saying that you have to beat Pittsburgh and Cincy.
Right.
It has to be playoff baseball. It can't be dog days of September, basically. But you have, like, San Diego, they should beat San Diego. Look, you gotta win some of these series, but you can split some of them. You got to put your foot on Milwaukee's neck because of what they did to you last year and the fact that they've been stumbling. But you got to beat these sorry-ass teams. I think St. Louis has a rougher schedule down in the rest of the season.
Well, they've definitely had a really nice stretch. A lot of easy teams as of late, and that might be why they've kind of built
That's
this
why I was
lead.
saying that because their record against over 500 teams isn't as good.
So the Cubs have 14 road games and 10 home games after this game tonight against the Seattle Mariners. They're not good on the road. That's why I'm saying I don't like the odds. Now,
Swept
if
the Mets.
They did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They did sweep the Mets. And the Mets were
Let
kind
me
of
hang my hat on something.
Yeah, but then the Mets they had something to play for too, and they swept them. So that was good
And
for the
their
Cubs.
3 best pitchers.
Yes, that was great for the Cubs psyche. It was, but after that, it was like poo. So
2 out of 3 to Milwaukee.
Real quick. So St. Louis has, this is just for the division, not the wild card. St. Louis they're playing Cincy, then they go to San Fran, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Milwaukee, the Nationals, the Cubs, Arizona, and then the Cubs. They have a rougher schedule. So
Yeah, especially those last 4 series, all playoff teams.
yeah.
Or fighting for playoffs.
Yeah, you. So it's in your hands. It's in your hands to either get the wild card or take the division.
But do you trust these Cubs? Do you trust like I said before, every time somebody goes out, somebody comes back, somebody goes out. Now you have Brian is out and you have Hobby is out, right? All right, so you do get Zorba's back. Okay, yeah, that's
But
good.
we don't know what he is.
We don't know what he is. We finally got Wilson Contreras back. He's doing well, it seems, lately, right now. But there isn't that consistent. It's consistency.
Castellanos.
Consistency.
That's
Yeah, and you have Nick. Right. You have Nick.
And it's not enough.
And that's not enough. Exactly. So that's my whole thing. That's why I said between 65 to 70 because you're on the road, and I don't trust these guys on the road like that.
They can catch St. Louis.
I think so, too.
It's possible because they play them twice.
I don't know if I bet on it anymore.
Or you know what? The Cardinals can whoop their ass and put them away.
Yep.
I mean, those last 2 series when they
least
play
she in
each
it.
other is
At least
going to
she
be
in it.
probably everything.
Boy, for Cubs fans, if St. Louis knocks y'all out of the playoffs, it's going to be like old times.
I mean, we won on their field last time for the division.
They'd be like your measly victory.
Hey, we got our ring.
For decades.
When's the last time you got one, St. Louis?
Then they pull out all of them.
It wasn't that long, though, was
The
it?
last
Who
100
cares
years?
about the all of
The
them?
last 100 years or just
Tell that to Packer fans who only have 2 in the last, 40 years?
And how many the Bears got?
Yeah, but what are you going to hang your hat on 5?
Well, how many times did they go to Super Bowl?
What is it? 6?
Well, they've been to 4. Wait, they went twice with Favre. They've been twice with Rodgers, right?
No, once.
Once.
Just his win.
Yeah, that's it.
Did he lose someone?
Nope. He lost in the NFC Championship game a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they only been the one and he won that one. Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That was a dark day. Dark day for me at Southern Illinois. I didn't like either of those teams.
Really? Well, I love Aaron Rodgers. Sorry.
I like watching them play.
Brett Favre, man, he beat it into me.
I'll answer the last up for grabs question.
Yeah.
I think it's probably too high, 80%. I would have it maybe a little bit lower, but like everything you just said, Ken, I mean, if they have a great couple weeks, they probably could win the division. But can you put together 2 or 3 good weeks?
I mean, they need all the snuff they can get their hands on.
So if they lose, how quick is Joe fuck? Well,
So they're out of the playoffs?
So he's just done. Just all right, Joe, don't even come back.
I mean,
we're not even talking
I
to
think
him.
Joe Madden is an excellent manager. He's the cheapest option you basically have as far as trying to turn around what's on the roster right now. But we all know they need some change on the roster. So
That's my big thing.
are you going to get rid of a great manager when this roster's done and some of the moves you guys have made? We just saw Jed talking about Verlander. And like, dude, if Verlander found a fountain of youth that Roger Clemens left out someplace.
In Houston.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go to the right door. The right door, yeah. All Roger's there with all his kids starting with K. He's like, Kobe, give him the stuff. But
take those shorts down.
Cleavon. What, Roger, you got a half black kid? Yeah, Cleavon. Give him the stuff too. But look, if you have Verlander here, dude, especially with all these pitching injuries and how healthy he has been. I know, D, you said you never know. But we can't go off of the fact that he's been healthy.
Oh, no, he's been great.
And at the end of his reign and with the Tigers, people were looking at that contract like, man, damn.
Hey, what are you doing?
And he's like, dude, his
worth it.
Yeah. So
he's worth every penny.
If you had, because basically what we would be saying, he would be here and you wouldn't be here probably, right? Because you would have had to extend Verlander.
Possibly.
It would probably. I doubt you would have went out and got another big ticket. Maybe if depending on what happened with Arrieta, but even if they would have brought him in with Arrieta, they'd been like, "Well, Arrieta's gonna leave. We gonna keep." Especially if think about it. If Verlander performed how he's performed to Houston, they was gonna keep him.
My only thing is with looking at it with Justin Verlander, it's like you just don't know what would happen.
But you can go off of what happened.
Yeah, you can go off of what's happening in Houston, but that might not have happened in Chicago.
But it could have.
So
chances are that would have happened though.
You just said that he found some fountain of youth outside. So
he could have found that.
Was he going to find it in Wrigley?
It's Sammy's old stash in the back.
They hate Sammy. What are you going to do? Crawl up in the ceiling?
Sammy
I know you left some up here, Sammy.
They kept some. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yes. Over there. It's behind the smash boom box.
Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know.
That's. I think that's hard to say. I'm saying we have to take the information that we have now.
No. I agree.
Justin Verlander, who was a depreciation asset of a great pitcher, has returned and could arguably be the best pitcher this season. And he would be on this. Oh, let's even play like this. He's not Verlander right now, but he's 10% less. He's still better than any pitcher they got on the staff.
I'm not denying that at all. I'm also going off what the comments were made earlier too from Hoyer made them, right? I mean, you just can't live with regrets. I know you say you kind of regret it.
We're not living with regrets.
I'm saying he's talking about he regrets it. You can't live with regrets. Don't regret it, dude. You have what you have. You did what you did. You won your World Series. Yeah, I bet you everybody looking at it like, man, I wish I would have signed Verlander. But you just wouldn't know what would happen. He could have came here and blew out his arm. You don't know. You don't know. But what I do know, them Cubbies ain't looking good right about now. They're not looking good right about now. That's all.
Hater, D.
I'm not hating. I'm basically going off
you refilled that hater.
I'm going off what I'm seeing, and the simple fact that
seeing through that hate behind your eyes.
If they were at least a 500 team on the road, I give you more of a chance. They're not even that. They're like they 11 games under on the road. If they was just 500, I'd say yeah, they got it. They're not that. They wouldn't be in this position if there was 500 roads.
Yeah, if they were 500, they'd be in front.
They'd be in front. Listen, the bullpen. What's going on with that? Kimbrel is not what you thought he was going to get. Your lineup has not been consistent all year, and your starting pitcher is kind of like, okay, yeah, you're good enough right there. And look where they're at right now.
I think their pitching is okay enough. It's really that hitting. What are you going to get offense every day?
Consistent, right? And you, before the season started, you said this. I hope we don't have the season we had last year. And what was the issue last year? Their offense. Man, they can blow out. I think it did it, but I think they did it the first game of this season. Man, the Cubs scored 10 runs in the opening game.
And then
what's going to happen the next
two.
season? What's going to happen the next game? That's what's been happening. I don't know. I'm just a old lonely Sox fan. All right, we come on back. Wrap up this show, D and Davis Show.
What's up, everybody? It's Cameron Smith from CBS 2 Chicago. You're listening to the D and Davis Show.
D and Davis Show. All right, let's go ahead and bring this one home. We got some good hot topics that we're going to get into. All right, Ken, what you got?
Osaka knocked out at the U.S.
Naomi.
I've been concerned about her. This has been a down year for her.
Yeah, she hasn't been playing that consistent.
I don't know if YB and Corday is helping her.
Are they dating?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
That's a boyfriend.
What?
Yeah.
At least she got the rhyme say the spitter.
But
he wanted the best flow. He's a lyricist.
I wish for the best for because she's so young, but I feel like she should be strong. Even though she's just 21,
yeah,
I feel 21, like she should be stronger mentally, and she's not there yet. And I wonder if that's going to be some of the downfalls of her career. If she's going to, I don't think it's going to be like that anyway. If she can be as dominant you don't have to be as dominant as Serena because that's an outlier. But can you be
Steffi Graf?
Venus? No, because that's Serena.
Yeah.
Can you be Venus? Can you be what's the name?
Sharapova?
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Sharapova.
Cheater.
Can you? Hey, she got caught.
She found Sammy's locker.
Yeah, she was like, Sammy's locker where? The back.
What's behind this smash jukebox?
Whoa!
Oh man.
So I was concerned with that. Looking at, I was happy that old girl Townsend.
Oh yeah,
she got knocked out, but she did well.
She did well.
She was ranked in 100. Yeah, I was happy to see Coco. But yeah, to see that the number ones got knocked out, I hope what happened in Wimbledon with Djokovic and Roger, that's not Roger. This won't be Roger. Won't get another one. I'll say this too. I don't care, and I'm actually, some people don't like him. I'm a Djokovic fan.
Me too.
I don't care.
He got knocked out with the shoulder injury, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
Got booed too.
Yeah,
he always does. Yeah. Everybody hates him,
which is
for no reason.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. I think he's because he looks smug, but to me, he seems funny. Like when he seems funny.
I think he's got a personality.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, with a hint of jerk face.
But but I feel even if he passes Roger, he won't be greater than Roger.
No,
but since he didn't have a Federer. Because there's him being younger than them, there's no Federer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not Federer. There's no Ralphie Nadal. That's what I'm trying to say. So at least Roger had Ralphie to take French Opens from him all the time.
Right.
Okay. Right. But he had a true rival. Now Djokovic is growing up with both of them, but age wise, they're aging out while he's going to be the prime guy. And how many up and coming young men? I remember 5 years ago marveling at Nick Kyrgios being like, oh, I like this brother right here, and he's just a punk ass, right? Like, no, he's literally a bitch.
Yeah, who beat Joker Warwinka?
Yeah.
Like, he's whatever if you look at in terms of like great tennis players, but he's one of the best right now.
Yeah,
Djokovic is number 22 ranked in the world right now.
I mean, we are in the golden ages when it comes to the top 3 men, but still, I miss the depth that the 90s used to have.
Yeah.
I would say this about tennis, and I probably am not alone with it. I know we're missing that like you just said before, the depth of the men's game. It's really, for me now, just a dominant women's sport.
But that's sad. But you know why it is like that?
I don't think it's sad because I think I'm seeing some of the best. I think I have, in my lifetime, have seen probably the best women tennis players. But what's crazy, the generation behind them coming up is going to be just as good. I don't know if we're going to see that outlier like a Serena Williams, maybe not even outlier like Venus Williams. I don't know if we're going to get that. But the depth and the talent of the women's tennis game,
I think women's tennis
is unbelievable. It's so much better than men. I don't even think about guys playing tennis
for like 20 years.
That's what we
can go back to Lindsay Davenport,
but at least back then though, we had a few guys going back and forth though.
This is what the problem is with it. There's no American men.
But you know what? I can live with it even if it wasn't an American man. You had Nadal, you had Federer, you had those guys, and those guys are not American.
When you had
McEnroe and who else?
No, I'm not even going to go there.
Sampras?
Yeah,
Sampras.
When you had Sampras, Agassi, Michael Chang. Like when you had but I'm just saying, then you had international guys to go at them. It was much more appealing because not just from national pride wise or rooting effort, but just because of the depth that you had.
But I think now, and I'm not saying that you're wrong about that, but I think now with the depth of women's tennis, and you can see Coco is 15 years old. This girl is damn good. We even talk about Sloane Stevens. Stevens? No. I'm not saying that she's there anymore. Yeah. But see, a few years ago, she was.
That's always been. But tennis. it's always been like, remember through like Anna Kournikova, Maria Sharapova, what's the
but even they was balling, was all like
Martina
the looks
Hingis.
and stuff like that.
No,
These girls are just balling.
Not Sharapova all the way. Sharapova got 5 Grand Slams. Anna Kournikova is one of the youngest ever, even though she ended up being on. But look, remember, man, Martina Hingis looked like she was going to be the baddest MF for a minute, but she was the person holding Venus and Serena back.
Right.
There's been depth in the female ranks forever.
It's been there, but my point is, I don't even think about dudes playing tennis anymore because
I'm saying this in the past. You enjoyed both, correct? Because it was women's. Women. It was both. I'm gonna say this. My eyes have always been on women's more because there's more.
I think they're better.
There's more volume.
The game is better.
The power. Well, now it's more power in the women's game.
Yes,
but it's more. And also, I don't need that fifth. I don't need 5 of them bad boys. You can give me 3. But
sets.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Matches.
The thing, what you're really, I think because women has fed you, I got you, baby. Don't worry. They not taking care of me. So it's been so long. It's like, I don't need them no more. Mama been taking care of me. But I'm saying, look at dad. Dad has been up. So you've been appreciating mama a lot more because dad ain't been doing.
Dad is on the corner.
Sloane Stevens
for the swear. Sloane Stevens is number 11 in the world. She did get knocked out, but she's number 11 in the world. I don't know. It's definitely something with the I don't know, man. I don't even think about tennis when it comes to guys. I just don't. I think about the greatness of the women's game, and I just know that it's in good hands. And it's like you have other young ladies coming up that's going to be just outstanding.
I mean, if I'm the tiebreak, I'm kind of with you, Ken. Like, I would love an American man to be in this. I get where you're coming from, D, because I enjoy the women's game, and I think it's perfect how it works out. Like, Saturday is women, Sunday is men, and you get that great tournament end, and you can obviously watch throughout. But when you don't have an American man involved, it's like tennis is like the Olympics. You know, it's like it's hard to wrap around yourself with other people, even though you just have respect for them as an athlete and as an individual playing that game. But I've never been able to wrap my arms around Roger like I did Pete Sampras.
And I was an Agassi guy.
Yeah, I liked Agassi better too.
But Sampras was a better player than him.
Oh, yeah.
Then you had to admit it.
He was.
And just to see, listen, it took me a minute for me to finally give in and be like, Federer's better than Sampras.
It took me a while too.
Yeah, it took me a minute because I'm
Federer
like, because Sampras was going up against dudes, man, like all the time. It was, dog, you still had an old Jimmy Connors coming for you back then.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, it was like, okay, who is Federer playing? This is early Raffy when we're like, he just good on clay. Right? It's like, okay, take him off of Roland Garros and let's see him do it. It took him forever to win on grass in Wimbledon. So, Ralphie has proven himself, even though still you got to give him the side eye for all those damn French Opens he's won. But come on, man. Like, I don't know, man. I think the thing, and I've been a proponent of this for a long time. I forgot the young black brother that was up here from Chicago that moved to Houston or down to Atlanta. That was supposed to pop. He's somebody's coach right now, actually. I forget which. He's one of these ladies. I don't know if it's Coco Golf or not. He may be her coach, but you've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and even when you see him, because I remember watching him, it was like, oh, he's not gonna work. He's not athletic enough, right? Like I remember seeing him, like, oh snap, kid, shorty, and this was back then. He's wiry. It's not gonna translate, because you can see where the game was going or whatever. And I think if you had that, dog, do you know how much they will be pumping up? We get it because Serena is big, and then with her sister.
But that's the thing,
and it's carried.
How big
here.
is Serena?
That's what I'm about to say. It's carried in here.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you this.
She's a GOAT.
But think about this.
She's a GOAT.
If you didn't have Venus and Serena, America's attention to tennis would not be what it is.
Oh no,
right
I agree
now.
with that. I agree with that.
Because we got our girl is number one. All right, regardless if you like her or not, it's something for you to watch. It galvanizes you to either pick a side in this or whatever.
Well, again, it's the national part. Like you have to have that with tennis. I mean, it's like seeing a great somebody in the Olympics swimming. that isn't Michael Phelps. So it's like, yeah, that guy's great. He's awesome, but he's not Michael Phelps.
Yeah, you definitely need that attachment. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I like the depth of the women's game.
Last one on that.
True. Go ahead.
Going to the point. Remember how disappointed we was when Andy Roddick wasn't the guy that we thought he was going to be?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, think about if Andy Roddick was
that
great.
match against Roger Federer where it was like going forever.
Didn't have it.
That was the only time I was like, if you win this, you can break through.
Yeah,
But you know what? It's a lot, but it kind of goes back to the whole point of how other sports are siphoning off guys who probably would have played a particular sport. Maybe the guys who probably had that bill for a tennis body. He's not playing tennis. Maybe tennis isn't appealing like that to the American man. It's very appealing to the American woman, as far as the athlete itself, but it's not appealing.
Because there's not an American man to convey why it's appealing. Because if you
you need to see somebody.
The idol,
you need to see somebody.
Whoa, but you also see the acclaim he gets. You're gonna be like, oh, I want to do that shit, right?
Yeah, because you see Serena do it. And it's inspiring a ton of girls to go into tennis.
We are seeing the fruits of Serena and Venus. It's not even a question.
No, of their fathers.
I would love to see those fruits.
Whoa. Hello. Slow down.
Wait a minute. Who are you talking about? He said father, but I was thinking about Serena. Where's it going to go?
About them too.
Okay.
I'm in a real pause, not the other pause. Like, slow down, homie. You're getting horny down here. Like, turn off the lights. Like, well, you guys leave me alone for a minute.
I better talk about Jared Goff's extension before I lose it.
Yeah, there you go.
Adam Schefter reporting 4-year extension worth $134 million total, and NFL record 110 guaranteed in the deal.
They will rule the day.
Good for him.
They will rule the day.
Good for him. I'm so happy to see, and although it's the quarterbacks and that's who gets the money, but I am so happy to see NFL players finally get paid in some sense. I mean, you got the signing bonus.
I mean, it sucks. It's a quarterback.
It's just right.
They were always getting paid.
Yeah, they always get paid. I wish it gets spread out to more of the players. Yeah, because that's what they need.
It's like them and the kickers are protected by everyone.
Wake me up when Busta Scream breaks that bank.
I know, right?
Out.
But it's good to see that he got the money. Yeah, listen, I ain't gonna hate on the brother. You know what I'm saying? He made his money. He paid his dues. You know what I'm saying? He got his check. As Ken would say, I'm sure is going to say, that was not a good signing.
They wouldn't have got my money.
Let me ask you guys, who would you rather have paid with their current contract? Wentz or Goff?
Wentz.
I would love to give Sean McVay Wentz.
Yeah.
For real.
Their chance.
I would love to.
He had the chance.
Yeah, like here you go, Shawnee. Like I would love to have seen him with that type much more a more mobile quarterback.
Jared Goff has no mobility.
Has to be more cerebral from what we're looking at. Quarterback, because he took to it faster. Now he didn't have Guppy Jeff Fisher his first year with Jared Goff, but still with what Wentz done. I mean, remember Wentz coming out of a small school like that
at DSU.
Yeah, it was like y'all crazy, right? Like, they saw what he could do. So it's not even. Jared Goff he's not high on my team, even though he is my fantasy quarterback. Because you know what I did? You know what I separated? I separated who I expect to be great from who was going to score some points.
Yes.
And he's probably going to score some points. Yeah. Although, I said this before, Ken, I think it has something to do with the simple fact of he was able to get to the Super Bowl. At least that's what his agent was able to say to get that.
You think if they would have lost an NFC Championship game, he wouldn't have got this much check?
Maybe it would have been 110. Maybe it would have been 100.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But he looks so bad in that Super Bowl too.
He wouldn't be. Y'all about to lose. You're about to lose the ability to sign all those guys that you've been pulling up.
How long is Todd Gurley under contract for?
He just got that deal last year.
Yeah.
Like you got a lot of money in your backfield.
They're gonna cut that one as soon as he gets that guaranteed money. Gets right a $10 million. That's a lot to say cut. About $10 million, and you can spread that out however, or it's gonna be dead money.
Getting a dead cap.
Yeah, but they're gonna let that one go.
What are you about to say now? Oh, I thought you was about to make a point.
No,
just with Jared Goff.
Yeah. Okay, Ken wouldn't give him money.
If you're a fan of Dean Davis, you know that I would have played him. I would have franchise tag. You know what? He would have got a franchise tag.
That's interesting. They didn't do that
because the good name. Quarterbacks also have that thing where they don't want to get on their bad side.
Right.
Yeah, but
he just took you to the Super Bowl.
It's probably
do you
also
want him to be like you're playing?
But this is familiarity.
But this goes back to why I was side with Ken. You should know what you have. Although, yes,
But do you think that's what they're doing?
I made the point that they went to the Super Bowl, and I'm sure that's maybe why I got him a little bit more than what he got right now. That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
The thing is,
but if you know, if you know what you have, and you believe in your coach, and you believe in your talent evaluation, then I don't know if you really would do that.
But maybe they believe.
Yeah, maybe Sean McVay says this is the guy.
This is the guy.
They have rose-colored glasses. Also, listen, maybe Sean McVay also knows it's just not easy to plug and play too. That I could sit here from the outside and say, I think Sean McVay is great. Why not get you another talent in the draft in the second round, stash him, build him up for a year or two, exploit Jared Goff as long as you can, and find out also if he's really good. If he comes up short the next 2 seasons, find out.
Listen, they have a shot to get back to the Super Bowl in the NFC. They have a shot.
They do, but the problem
they are favorites.
Problem is that the NFC is a lot more loaded than AFC.
It is. Well, you got Philadelphia, you got Dallas, you got the Bears.
Yes.
You know, you have teams out there. You got Vikings. You got New Orleans.
I think my big problem with the Rams is their depth. Like, if Todd Gurley really can't go, is this Henderson kid going to help carry that weight? You know, you're getting Cooper Kupp back, but if you lose a receiver, are you back to being that team that doesn't have enough weapons all of a sudden? Same thing at their defense. You lose in Ndamukong
Suh. Blew his ACL, right?
Yep.
Because every time
Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I keep hearing we getting Cooper Kupp back, my first thought is he did that during the year. He has to wait till year 2, and that's a slot receiver. I'm gonna tell you, from someone who blew out a knee, that lateral, that left to right, that's the problem. That straight going forward. Look at Derrick Rose. That straight going forward, you can still be a track star, but that left to right, that's when it's like, and to be a slot receiver, that's how you're trying to get all your separation. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get a lot of your separation. Let me put it like that. So I think he gets the benefit of the doubt. I also think if he was even though we know Cooper Kupp, if he was a bigger name player, people would be like, hold on, it's the second year. But Allen Robinson, before he came to the Bears with the Jaguars, blew his knee out at the beginning of the year. So he had that whole year, then the year with the Bears. Cooper Kupp blew out his stuff in week 8, or it was between like 8 or 10 or something, right?
I think it was a little bit earlier. I want to say it was like beginning of October.
Okay. So listen, okay, and look now, Jared Goff, it's on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have to be the X factor. Now people could say, looking at what he did last year, he was an MVP run. That's what I was about to say.
He was
about the final. I mean, not the finals. The Super Bowl. He was in contention to be MVP. So if he's bringing that to the table, it's going to be easy for a team to be like, okay, he's one of us, whatever. They're also, I guess another thing is this too. I hate to say this, marketing wise, they're trying to. I mean, it's LA. People have other stuff to do.
Keep
they are the LA team.
Yeah, and they're trying to establish a culture, and he's one of the talking faces. He's right there in front, basically behind Sean McVay. It's probably him. Well, it's Aaron Donald, and then Sean McVay, and then it's probably him. So, and he's the quarterback. So,
plus they're moving to that new building.
Yeah,
they want to sell those season tickets, just like the Raiders.
Man, think about what
they want those, because you can't go into that stadium having question marks at quarterback, like, oh, we're franchising Jared Goff. We don't know what we have here.
Great point. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't do it, but I see why they did it.
Yeah.
Cam Newton broke the one-handed catch record. This is from ESPN. Newton in July made 51 one-handed catches in 60 seconds on passes from Chandler Hilo, a member of the YouTube star Mr. Beast crew. That broke the Guinness record shared by Cleveland Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry, former NFL quarterback Brady Quinn.
I saw the video of Jarvis doing it. It's pretty impressive. I didn't meet Cam Newton, but I was walking next to him.
Man, if you don't stop talking about this.
He's a very large man, and I can see why he did that. I can see how he did that. I didn't know that was a Guinness Book of World Records.
You could take over for the Captain Obvious guy in those commercials.
Damn right I could.
Cam Newton is a big man.
He's a very big man. Like, who is that? Now, this is kind of cool, I guess, to do. Here's a question: do you think he can play another position besides football? Beside a quarterback.
Hell yeah, he can play
tight end. Yeah.
Tight end.
I wonder he'd be messing fools up.
Yeah,
I wonder.
He could be a defensive end too.
I wonder if he doesn't have the best year, or it's kind of like, man, Cam don't have it no more at the quarterback position. But Carolina is like bad one year, and you have like this stud quarterback coming out.
Dude, stop smoking that.
Would somebody come to Cam and like, hey Cam,
He wouldn't do it.
You think
You
with
wanna
his
play
legacy as a quarterback?
Not even that.
I was like,
as
you wanna
broke
play-
up as he is now.
you want to play tight end?
You want to play the roughest offensive position you probably outside of
We
running
want you to
back.
punch every time.
let's put you
take
at
a
the-
snap.
Dude is so big, he probably do it, but no, he
They
wouldn't do
going
that.
low on him all the time.
Oh yeah, he's huge. He's huge. He's like 6'7", 6'6", 6'7".
He's about 6'6".
6'6".
He's just shorter than LeBron. I think he's 6'5".
6'5".
You're right. He's 6'5". All right. La'el Collins earning a 5-year, $50 million extension that will keep him under contract for 6
And no
years with the
Zeke
Cowboys.
Elliott deal.
$35 million guaranteed. So the right tackle, and I believe this is the highest guarantee in NFL history given to a right tackle. ESPN.
They are. This is classic Jerry Jones. Dallas is a pretty damn good team in an NFC that I think that can go pretty far. And you just won't pay the man damn money.
Are you crazy?
I'm not saying to give him the house,
But he's doing
but
that.
satisfy him.
He's
though.
coming in. He just. What are you talking about? He keeps coming in. He's flying in from Cabo. He's going to sign a deal.
No, we was just saying though.
He couldn't- he
deal
couldn't
yet.
let him set the market, especially when he had 3 years left. Dog, he got 2 years left on his deal. He's a running back. Both of them are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Zeke was supposed to hold out because he had to get that money this year, because that was the only way you were going to get a whopping contract. Because another year they'd be like, "Hey, what about the tread on those tires? What about the tread on those tires?"
Right.
He did, but Jerry did exactly what he was supposed to do because he had leverage in. Dude, you see what we trying to do? I'm gonna pay you, but understand. Zeke said, "Listen, I know you saying you're gonna pay me, but I'm gonna need you to put that money in writing because
Put it
I'm
up right
running-
now.
I'm gonna run it." He did, but
Put it up right
so
now.
this is how it had to happen.
And and for his position, you know he's going to do that. And the simple fact of he's one of the best running backs in the league.
But Jerry did. Jerry, think about it. If Jerry just gives them what they want, he can't sign all of it.
I ain't saying just okay.
But that's what
you
Zeke
want.
wanted to be the highest paid running back. So you can't, if you can't give, like a dude comes up to you, dog, that works for you, D, and he's doing terrific, but he just signed a contract with you, got 2 more years on, basically 3 more years on it. And I'm just pointing out.
But the nature of the football, the contract ain't worth what's.
But think about this.
The
Even
paper
with
that's
that,
written on, though.
they rarely rip him up on the other way. They don't say, "Hey, player, come."
You have 2 years left on your deal.
so-
Let's get you a
yeah.
new one.
No.
And we
He's
can
going
yeah,
against.
if you're a
He's going against.
quarterback, if you're a
He's going against the
quarterback-
Florida River. I'm not denying.
But
that.
I'm just saying, when we're saying what Jerry's doing what he's supposed to be doing, when we get wrapped, it's a contract negotiation. Sometimes we get wrapped in the contract. It's just a negotiation. They're both doing what they're supposed to be doing.
But is there any kind of smoke there that they haven't gotten the deal signed yet? Is
No,
there ever a red
I
alert?
led with
I know they're coming. He's coming to
Rocky
Cabo,
Arsenal.
but that
They're
started.
heading in. Zeke, look, this isn't Melvin Gordon. That man ain't happening. The GM just said they're not doing it until after the season. That's not going to happen because, one, they feel like they can win without him, even though they're probably better with him.
Yes, they are.
But they know Zeke is the engine, one. That's why
he
Zeke
is.
knew it was time for me to pull this move. This is what both of them should be doing.
All I'm saying is, does it happen automatically before week 1,
Yes.
or do you think there's a chance
Zeke
this
is
could
going to
get
be
delayed?
signed? Zeke will be signed by Friday. But the thing is, he shouldn't play.
He's gonna. Right?
I wouldn't play him because, and now I know Jerry was just blustering when he said, it'd be good to have him back later so he'll be fresh. Don't give him all that money and throw his ass in there. Let him get some practices in. So
he need at least a week.
Yeah, at least week 2. I'm not, because I'd be tempted to. But let's also remember they have what? They have the Giants in Washington. I believe it's two.
Yeah,
It's
it
two
might be.
loser
They
teams.
definitely have Giants.
Yeah, it's because I think it's two. No, I think it's Washington. They have 2 divisional games, I believe. So, dude, I mean that. Come on, we can beat that Giants team. All right, Zeke, you can come back in week 2. We can beat this Giants team. Then you can come back. But I'm not bringing him. Like if he came back last week, I would let him get 15 reps.
You think Jared's trying to bring it down to $8 million since he can't play week 1?
No.
Doesn't want to pay him that week 1 game check?
Game check. So they got the Giants. The Giants, the first game. The second game is Washington. Third game is the Dolphins. And then after that is Saints.
Dude.
So they should be able to at least get 2 of those games.
They should. Let's be honest.
Probably all 3
in a tight division, but they're in a tight conference. Let me not say division. Even
tight
though
conference,
the top
though,
of their
yes.
division is tight between them and the Eagles, but in a tight division, these wins we were talking about New Orleans. These wins are going to matter in the NFC. because
yes, they will.
These
Yes, they
wins
will.
gonna matter in NFC, but still, it was nothing wrong. This is the thing that the reason why I actually wanted to harp and bring up the La'el Collins thing. Do you guys remember La'el Collins?
Yeah, he was misaccused on draft night, and
Of
he
murder.
plummeted.
LSU a tackle who was going to be, I believe, a first round pick easily.
Yeah, definitely
And
first round.
Basically, got pulled out of the draft because I think the child of his girlfriend who was murdered in an interview said something, and then when it came out, people was kind of like, I don't know if that's right. And this dude basically was yanked out of the draft. Basically,
It was basically cleared up like a week after the draft.
Yeah, and it was, and he missed on all that. He missed on experience,
money.
all the money. So it's really good to see someone who lost what was going to be one of the greatest days and experience of their life, let alone all the money he initially lost. That, and this is Jerry too. They talked to him, but came in like, man, come with us. We're going to take care of you. They've taken care of him.
That's kind of funny because the other guy that comes to mind, like La'el, that had the unfortunateness of the draft was Laramie Tunsil.
Yes.
With the
Weed
smoke
mask.
mask.
Mask, right?
Yeah. And so he's got his new situation, and a big deal is probably coming soon.
Yeah,
Who was pulling for him for the Bears to get him?
all of us.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a top five pick.
Because
Were we
remember,
doing that? We doing a show down in Chicago Sports
we were
Land?
mad.
Yeah.
Because that's the Lloyd draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was,
Yeah,
he
sure
made the
was.
most
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
Because you were like, get the tackle. Because
He's
at that point, it was like, you're going to get a quarterback, get the tackle.
Right.
That was what it was. It was like, you're going
And
to
he's
get a
top
QB.
5, and he's falling to you.
You know you're getting a QB, get the tackle. And because, dude, build through the trenches. And it's not sexy, but if you get those trenches going, look what Dallas did. They built that on the offensive line initially. That's how they built that.
Well, I was going to kind of bring that up too. Like Dallas, I agree with the trenches building, but you see like a lot of lines on good teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bears, they have just 5 solid guys across. No Pro Bowlers, no superstars. The Cowboys are paying like 4 or 5 guys, top 5 at their position on the offensive line. And you got to pay Dak, and you got to pay Cooper, and you got to pay Zeke. You just paid Lawrence, you just paid Smith. Are they just running themselves into cap hell?
Cap Hill.
Yeah, they are, definitely. It definitely is what's like. It's not a question. It seems the USA needed a foul with 0.1 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 4 missed free throws in overtime that will go down in infamy in Turkish basketball history, and few fortunate bounces to avoid a loss in the FIBA World Cup Tuesday. This is from ESPN.
I have not been watching any FIBA basketball.
Because it's a squad that we're not used to seeing. I was about to say sorry, but they're
say
NBA
that.
players. Nah, they're better than that. They're NBA players. I was watching the NBA Jump, and it's funny. Everybody kept harping on like, man, Devin Booker should be here, and it was like he plays for Phoenix. Like this, but if some of the points were valid, they were saying that, if you look at LeBron and them, Derrick Rose, KD, the players that actually made a jump from having a terrific World Cup or whatever, World Games or Olympic experience, how it can help you. And he doesn't play on a team where he has had pressured games. It would be good for him to be here. He said he was trying to, his focus was on getting Phoenix into the playoffs, in the West, into the playoffs. But it's bad business, and Tatum hurt his ankle.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
I mean, Paul George hurt himself with the Olympics, right?
that was the worst. That was the worst.
Yeah, it just I can't get over the Devin Booker leading his team to the playoffs. Like,
Hey man, he believes in his guys.
BS.
He believes in the son.
Listen, him and the Bohemian, I ain't pulling that off next year. Sorry.
is DeAndre Ayton becoming a star all of a sudden?
Nope. All right. Does anybody notice Jalen Hurts notching 6 touchdowns for?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looked pretty good. He was playing against Nebraska. No, Nebraska. Who they play? Who they play? I don't remember. I was at a wedding.
Nobody.
No, he was playing Houston.
Yeah, no, Louisville.
No, it was Houston. It was Houston.
It was Houston. They played in Houston, and Houston didn't. It was ranked a few years ago, right?
Yes, it was.
Well,
right.
the West Virginia coach left that program to go to Houston, and everyone was looking at that. Why are you stepping down? But he believes that they're on the way up.
Yeah.
But
And they had that Texas coach before he left.
So here's the question: is Oklahoma going to put out another top flight quarterback? Possibly can go number 1 overall.
hell no.
Not number one.
Based on you. Okay, so let me ask this question this way: what are your expectations, and what do you think that Hurts is going to do in that system down there in Oklahoma?
I mean, if he has like
He's
these
going to be
numbers throughout the
Heisman
year,
candidate without a question. But I mean, NFL talent evaluators still know his warts, and that this would be the first year he actually really fulfills the all quarterback duties. So, and who has what's his name, the head coach, Riley,
Lincoln Riley.
Who like, yeah, he's not coming with him, is he? But
no, he's going to Alabama.
You never know.
So
you know how NFL.
Lincoln Riley's going to the Cowboys. He's not going to another. He's the next step that he takes after Oklahoma will be
in the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like he might come with him.
But
it won't be the Dallas. But I'm just saying though, he's gonna come to the NFL.
I'm putting him in Alabama for now.
Lincoln Riley?
Nah, you know he's getting that job.
Dabo.
Man, Dabo's not going there. Do you think?
You think Dabo is going to finish his career at his first?
No, I don't.
His first job?
I don't. But I don't know if he's going to Alabama.
No, you know it's the provision in his contract is Alabama. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means because he has an inkling to go back home. But like, I mean, it'd be the last.
I will say this: well, Oklahoma though, at least for the offensive side, with the talent that's going out there, and it seems as if they have a lot of talent
this year. You think he's going to be the number one pick?
No, I don't. But I think,
but
I think he's going to have a good year.
He can get to the back of the first round.
The back of the first round.
He in the back of the first
because I think he's it's one game. You got to keep playing, but he's elevated himself to potentially being draftable now.
Yeah, but over Hubert,
6 touchdowns.
I mean, over Herbert and Tua.
No. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, but like that's what you got to say.
He could be better than Herbert.
People go, but dog, Herbert looks like a quarterback's dream.
He does,
and he went back.
Man, he looked bad in that Auburn game.
He looks like dude.
Yeah.
If what's his name Brown could get drafted by the Giants.
Daniel Jones.
Thank you, Daniel. Because I always remember.
Who's this Brown?
No, because I think he's. I said this on Twitter when they drafted him. He reminds me of like something Dave Brown. It was a Giants quarterback from the '90s that he reminds me so much of, and I believe like J.R. Banks was like yes, but his last name was Brown. So I always
Collins.
I always think when I see him, I always put those two together. But I mean, if he could make that jump, and you look at again, they looked at him because of him being coached up. But still, it's the same. Tua, Herbert. He's not leaping them. I mean, dude, he would have to be so crazy. He would have to be better than Murray and Baker. Like,
I think if he put together a Murray season, I think he can get by Herbert. He can't get past Tua. He can't go above Tua. He is locked top.
I don't know if Tua's locked top of the draft.
See, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. So let me. You just saying something about Tua's not there just yet.
He's done. Tua's better than Jalen Hurts. So what he was saying draft position wise.
Draft position.
I'm saying that there's a chance because Tua has to still prove against elite defenses who he is.
And I think he will.
I hope he does. But because
he'll have a ton of chances in the SEC.
But I mean, think about it. Alabama's going to be winning a lot on offense now that they lost Moses. Like, dude, they lost Roquan Smith. And he calls the plays, and they only got shorties behind him. You be like, Shorty, call them plays, right? And that would be like, go, right? Like so now you already know what they were thin at linebacker already. One of their kids transferred, and so now they're thin. Their all-star linebacker is out, and he runs the defense, right? He's gone, and he's still going to be a top 20 pick probably next year. So now you're putting more on Tua when Nick Saban sometimes like, man, just don't be Superman or whatever. And that arm, let's also remember Tua. Listen, Jalen Hurts probably has a stronger arm than Tua.
I think he does.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying someone can look at Herbert and also be like, you know what? Yeah, I like that Russell Wilson thing and all that. But I'm gonna go safety over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just thought like Herbert in that game against Knicks that dude Knicks looked so bad. I mean, he was terrible. Even that last throw, that wasn't an accurate pass. He just put it behind him, and his receiver made an adjustment on it. I couldn't believe how bad Herbert looked. Like he couldn't push that ball at all.
I can understand. Also, you're talking about. In a system where you're not playing under a center 24/7.
What's Oklahoma's schedule? So they just beat Houston 49-31. Then they got South Dakota. Okay. Then they have
the Jackrabbits. They're
yes, UCLA,
Big
Texas
12.
Tech, Kansas, then Texas, and Texas is ranked number 9 right now. Then you
I
have,
hope they beat Texas.
West Virginia, Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State. So we could probably say Oklahoma is probably going to be in the playoffs for sure this year. They probably going to come out.
I mean, it's if they lose,
They're gonna be in the
basically.
play. Yeah.
They have to win out or lose once, and everybody else lose because the Big 12 isn't going to be strong enough for them to have the resume.
so you're going to have
You're going to have 2 SEC
Auburn.
teams, as you should.
you're going to not Auburn. You're going to have Clemson. Clemson. You're going to have Alabama. So what's the third?
I think Georgia. I like
then
Georgia.
and then Oklahoma, maybe.
They might make the playoffs, but man, listen, this is why when people be talking about Clemson and take nothing away, Dabo was doing his thing with all that hate in his heart. But
A lot of hate.
they do that in the ACC, a basketball conference. You just said,
Look how bad Florida State is.
Dog.
And that's like the best,
That's the best
second best
competition.
ACC.
dog, we just said Georgia, Alabama still has to deal with their in-state rival in Auburn. But
LSU.
that's who I was about to say. Sneaky old Empire is back, right? And they running the
And
spread.
they might have a quarterback.
And they gonna do the spread this year, right?
They've had
and you know the
athlete
defense
of
is gonna be
every
bad.
level to Alabama except quarterback.
You know exactly. That's what they've been needing. You know the defense is going to be flying all over the place. Dog, LSU may be back, right?
But currently, right now, the number 6 and number 5 is Ohio State.
Dude, do you know how hard it is to get undefeated out of the SEC? Like, if Clemson played and they be killing them, if they played in the Big Ten, I'd be like, man, they playing a few people up there, right? But man, they coming out into the playoffs all fresh and unbeaten. Like, man, y'all hurt out here, man. Exactly. Like, it's just one of those things. And again, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to point out that how difficult it is for even the bad SEC teams have talent on them. And are going to be hard games.
I love how everyone's hating on the SEC because they didn't have a great opening. It's like, dude, you're talking about the bottom teams that Missouri lost to Wyoming. Who cares if Missouri lose? They can lose all they want. We have LSU, Alabama, Auburn. They are beating some of the top teams in the other, Pac-12.
How did
They're
Brian
done.
play in that game?
Which one?
The former Clemson quarterback.
Ooh, I didn't. In the North Carolina game?
He's a Missouri quarterback.
Ooh, I don't know. I actually didn't check that out. I just know they lost to Wyoming.
We're talking about a Missouri team.
But again, look at
just got to the SEC.
Look at the Pac-12. Their shot was Oregon. Their shot's gone. Mm-hmm. Because they lost to the SEC.
They lost. Yeah.
And that's how it's always going to be. The SEC has it all. I hate the SEC hate.
Last but not least, today was my daughter's first day of school.
Yeah. Got book bag ready, doing homework. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, it was hard
What happened?
to walk her in there and leave her in a place where I don't know these people like that. Not like that. And also how many you gonna jump in front of a bullet for my baby? What if something goes around down here? No one is selling out for my dear baby. So and then to have to sit there, we dropped her off. Me and Afton went home. Went our separate ways in the house. And then towards the end, we started sitting in the living room with one another. And I'm just ready to go get her. And this is at 10. I mean, I was joking, but
okay.
I'm just still saying from the point of it's just something new is good. I mean, we want her to get acclimated with a bunch of other kids.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for her.
It's good for her.
It was
tough for you?
It wasn't tough. It was slight mist leaving out the door in my eyes. It was a little mist, but then I had to get
Wow.
It was just a little. It was a cloud, and then it went away. I was back to my focus. But it's my
Had a little drop of something in your eye?
It didn't drop. Nothing dropped.
No, something in your eye.
It was a little something.
The lip quiver?
Nah, my lips didn't quiver. But it was. And then when I went to pick her up, so when I come in the room, we come in the room to pick her up, and I don't see her, and I'm looking.
Oh.
I'm looking around because I'm like, okay, kid. I'm like, wait, am I in the right room? Where is my daughter? And then I see her for a second, and she goes right down. Boom. She falls, right?
Damn.
And I'm on the way down. I'm like, whoa. She tripped over one of the teachers or assistants' feet.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, whoa. That's all I see my daughter. I'm like, whoa.
She trying to run to you?
I don't know if she was running. If probably.
Yeah.
But
probably saw you.
she just takes off towards me and just comes running and I'm just like, oh, you just don't know how much I missed you today.
Wow. Grace
And
first
then
day,
the thing came back to your eye.
No tears, no tears.
that was completely different from Grace's first day of school. Like, go to school. I need to go to work. Get out. Learn something. What did you learn today?
We're counting down to 18.
Like, I think I did ask her first day, like, so what'd you learn today? And she probably looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been crying all day. It took Grace.
I missed you.
Yeah. Like, what? Like, hey, listen, man, you got to put your weight around here now. You better learn the 1, 2, 3.
Let me give you a tip. Get a job.
Notice
Come on, baby. What did you learn today?
at the beginning of the day, she cried a little when we left, I guess, but she was fine after that. Because I make sure to ask them. It's like, oh, all the kids are good. And I was like, no. How was she?
Yeah.
Because I want to reinforce whatever things, well, not reinforce, but get on her about whatever it is she was doing so she won't do it. Because last thing I want is my kid to be a problem so someone abuses them. That's right. Yeah, you do that. You make that face, right? Wait till you have a kid and you realize how crazy these people are out here.
Yeah.
And your kid is being an ass.
Yeah.
Not to say kids don't have their moments, but they're being an ass, and somebody that shouldn't have that job has a short temper on my child. You know, so at least I want to lessen that stress level for that person. Again, my kid can have a bad day, but not days after days after days after days. So you want to make sure you work with them on any issues that
Trying to get her blacklisted.
Nah, I'm just trying to make sure my baby's safe. Like that, don't do nothing to my baby. Either one of my kids, but he older now.
He can kind of fend for himself.
So at least he can run.
Right.
That's the thing. At least I can be like, just run, kitten.
Get low, zigzag.
Yeah, at least he can run. Like, she can't outrun nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
She probably running to him like, what the hell's going on?
No, she got instincts.
Good.
But,
Oh, that's good
and
to
then
hear.
she got
That's good to hear.
She got instincts.
Yeah,
but
no-
she's not outrunning anything.
Yeah, it's always kind of hard having your kid go out to school for the very first day. I know I joke, saying what Grace going, but saying she was crying a little bit, and I'm like, listen, you gonna get used to it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I think after maybe a week or two, it got easier. And after a while, she was like, yeah, I'm good. And after that, and she's going to second grade now, so I dropped her off. Chanel was tearing up in the car, dropping her off, and I'm like, we are going to be late. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? This girl need to get to school. She can't be late on her very first day.
Don't cry around B.
Like, come on, get out of here. Like, let's get out the car. Your mama, I don't know what the hell she doing.
You're really going to do this now?
I know.
We're
right?
late.
Like, what are you doing? So, but no, I walked Grace up there, and she was, talking and saying hi to people and walking in the hallway. It's just kind of like old hat to her. And she walked up to her class. She's like, this is my class. I'm like, okay. I introduced myself to the teacher. She's like, Grace, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. I'll see you later. All right, bye. So now we just kind of got the understanding. Hey, listen, man, what's so cool with Ken, you probably know this because Kenton is older. She just comes in, she opens a book bag, she does her homework herself. We ain't got to tell her to do it. Oh, it's
Enjoy
beautiful.
it for now.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Enjoy it for now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you never know, but if you train them, I mean, you have to train them. Like, a lot of people don't.
you do.
A lot of people don't invest in their
Yeah,
kids.
you got to.
That's what the thing. They expect the school
Constantly.
to do everything.
Exactly.
Hey, the school do everything. You come home, I'm not supposed to do anything.
School is like 10%. It's
Yes.
all about
You
the
have to-
parenting.
You have to train them.
Parenting.
It has to be a regiment. It has to
Schedule.
be. Yes, it has to be
Yeah.
a regiment. Because if you just come home and do whatever the hell you want,
Man.
it's like that's the first thing with him. Like you just said, is would go. Where's your homework? Did you do your homework? But see, since he has after school, usually his homework
does
is
it there.
done, and then I let Afton check it for the most part. I only do spelling. Like I got his spelling because I train his mind like I train my mind. I got his spelling like it's a joke. Like he didn't even study for something one week, and I think he got like a 90 something. That's some stuff I used to be able to like. He can spell better than I could at that.
Wow.
But like it's not even a question.
Spell check is my
When
friend.
it comes to spelling, it's like when he can so no. But again, this wasn't the
Take lessons from Kenton.
this
dude.
wasn't the D and Davis child parenting session.
It's called
but still,
red line.
that was just an important part.
Right
of my
click,
day.
find the right word. Spell check is my friend. All right, hey man, thanks for hopping on with us, listening to us. Really enjoy all the love and support that we get out here. All right, make sure you follow us on Twitter at D and Davis Show, Instagram too at D and Davis Show. iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Music, Stitcher, the TuneIn app, Water on Anchor. We kick you over to Spotify and YouTube. Download, subscribe, rate, share all the good stuff with the podcast. Facebook.com/D and Davis Show as well. I'm on Twitter at Demons1. Ken is on Twitter at That's Davis, and Ryan's on Twitter at Ryan B Ski.
We'll be back with the flip. We didn't have one last week because unfortunately Ryan was under the weather. You can hear him now, so you know he's doing better. So everything's good with that. But we should be back. I think we'll have a decently full house. Maybe Tony will show up. He was supposed to show up last week. His schedule may have changed. We'll find out. Sid will be here though. It will be good times as always. We'll see how that goes though, because I may need that to be on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I may need that. It would be better.
First football Sunday.
Yeah, how are you gonna be doing the flip and watching football at the same time?
Very well, but especially
dead air.
You gotta remember, the Bears aren't playing.
No, that's very true.
So we can actually pull it off. Sometimes with my fantasy, I like to not watch it. Because that'll ruin my fantasy. Like that'll ruin my enjoyment.
See, that's why I don't like playing fantasy no more, because I just want to sit back and just watch football.
But now just don't look at your fantasy.
But I got money on this, man.
Don't that's one thing I do. I take fantasy breaks on Sundays because I don't want to. I want to enjoy it. I want to relax. If I'm always what's my numbers? I'll look at my phone in. I'll notice if it's some notifications or something like that. That's usually what I do. But again, we'll be back with the flip. Hopefully you enjoy us. Let us know anything you'd like to hear or any changes. We definitely appreciate your critique. We appreciate you listening to us. It's not like you don't have anything else to do. We try to entertain you and provide some information, especially when it's D and Davis' show, even though it's the flip, when we try to come up with topics that we think are relevant for today. Always appreciate it. Don't do anything before you hear from us again.
Keep your hands to yourself.